there. We'll just yap some more.
FNCS. Okay. Oh, my camera is not working. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Okay, there we go. Everything is good. Now we just gotta get NA. I just look at like what Aussie and all the other people are saying. But now while we wait.
Get a 60-day money-back guarantee when you buy a Bosch dishwasher and finish. You host, we do the dishes.
You don't need the skills to bring the moves. You don't need a new dress.
It's because they like basically, and then if they're in the right situation, they'll, and then they win.
Let's say, let's go maybe competitive. And then, let's see, go. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay.
FNCS Major 1 kicked off in style. So let's take a look back at some of the best moments so far and some teams to look out for ahead of the Major 1 finals this weekend. The inseparable duo of Sky and Scroll are a team that many have their eyes on to win the whole thing this major. They've seemingly been
not even
since
just
the beginning of
Europe.
time, and although they haven't always delivered on expectations, this season could well be the one they finally reach their potential as FNCS champions. From early game at a likely uncontested north side of Battlewood Boulevard, solid mid-game surge strategies, and end-game consistency, these guys have all of the ingredients for success, so look out for them at the very top of the leaderboards this weekend. I think it's safe to say that the Heats in NA Central was quite eventful. Heat 3 really did bring the heat, with two of our best teams in the lobby, Clix and Higgs and Peterbot and Poya.
Yeah, that was kind of rough.
And Clix were in strong but not fully safe positions. In game 3, Peterbot made a bold move by landing at Clix's drop Wonky Land, but Clix switched to Peterbot's drop.
Hello, I just want to make sure everything is right.
With Peterbot confidently qualifying through and Clix only just sneaking in at 14th place, it was looking as though we'd see an all-timer off-form fight between the two of the best teams in the region at Wonky Land. However, Peterbot seems to have claimed his old drop of Squibbly Shores again instead. With that being said, after what happened in Heats, I wouldn't put it past Peterbot and Poyo to try their luck landing at Wonky Land again in the major finals. The last chance qualifier was a spectacle as always, as the final 5 teams on both EU and NA Central put their seats on the Major 1 finals battle bus. In EU, Lusher and Howley looked primed to take home a win in the very first game, claiming high ground for themselves and looking healthy until...
They fell.
yeah, that happened. Eventually, they find themselves in the endgame on height in Game 4, and again are looking to take home the win and soar towards the Major 1 finals. What could possibly go wrong? Right. Well, that leaves Howley as a solo against the duo on low ground, but he's not giving up that easily. Still on height, he waits for Noms and El Wavy to overdrive grenade up, taking down Noms first, and then hits an insane edit reset play on El Wavy to eliminate him and send his team to the Major 1 finals. Let's just hope they can avoid fall damage this weekend. Finally, in the very last game of the Last Chance qualifier on NAC, we got to see an absolutely genius play from Electro to qualify his team through. After spending the majority of the endgame on height, Alt and Electro get surprised by Chaos Gaming and A. We make a play for high ground, taking out Alt in the process and leaving Electro as a solo. With the final zone closing and the odds against him as a solo player, Electro decides to use his overdrive grenades to dash into the
and it went
storm
into
and
enemy
towards a mending machine at Battlewood Boulevard.
That's crazy.
With this, he can use his gold to keep buying patch-ups to heal up and survive the storm. Meanwhile, Stiff can only watch on as he goes down in the storm, and Electro manages to literally buy his way into the FNCS Major 1 finals in style. With incredible storylines and standout plays already unfolding across both EU and NAC, and even more on the line with the Major 1 Summit approaching, the stage is perfectly set for this weekend's finals. You won't want to miss it.
Day 1 seats last qualifier. That sounds LB. Yo, 6 minutes. Let's look at what Ozzy and Dan are saying. Oh, Foxity. Faxity. Faxity live, I guess it's probably live now. I don't know. Nah. Yeah, been main reason. Nah. Let's go back. I just wanted to hear what they were gonna say about like. Okay, let's pause. First place gets you 65 points, so everyone's gonna aim for a win, definitely. However, getting second place is also not bad. Even third place, 42 points. And then 48. Yeah, so they're really making it very competitive. So if you're in the top 10, you stay, you remain in competition. And eliminations are like 4 points. So you've got like 5 eliminations, it's like 20 points. Crazy. Let's go. For 5 minutes. Okay, so we got Bucky and Zen. This is gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna perform. And we got visuals and braids, Icon and Bolts, Cold and Rapid, Maz and Sphinx. We got Curve and Exit 35. We got Tunti and User, whatever that is. Let's move on. We got 5 names. 5 versus 25 people. Okay. Next we got Threads and Leave. Vive. And Kingaling. Ages and Ritual. I'm not sure. Oh no, they're not. Okay. And then we got King Peace and Cooper. We got Clix and Eggs. Drew Bots. Okay. I don't recognize most of these other people. Got Peterbot and Poyo. Yo, dude, if people win like first place 100,000, obviously gotta split it between two people, so it's 50-50 each. And then you get second place, like it's 25 each, and then 20 each, and then 15 each. So I mean, if you come in like at least top 10, I mean, if you get 10th place, you get like $5,000, which is not bad. So I mean, $50,000 is actually a lot, but yeah, we'll see. Let's go back to live, because I think it's really 2 minutes. How long is the pre-show gonna be? If I'm looking at the time, they're probably gonna be like starting at 11 on the dot. And given that like each game is like half an hour with maybe like 5-minute breaks, so it's gonna be these games half an hour. It's gonna be like 3 hours, and you have to add like 5 minutes in between like breaks, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe there's gonna be like another hour or half an hour, like 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours to 4 hours. Probably might not watch everything. Just see how it goes, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, like even though Fortnite isn't enjoyable, it's still fun to watch competitive. I'm not gonna lie. I guess it's just because of the storylines. It's like WWE. They like to hype it up, the banter between pros and stuff like that. So it's kinda, yeah, kinda cool. Okay, wait. Did I actually start pressing record? I didn't actually. Okay. There's always enough time to do that, so. Here we go. FNCS major finals. No wonder you're uncharging. Oh, they have a trailer first for FNCS before they start. Oh, here we go. I do ever just watch now or join now.
Welcome to day one of the FNCS Major 1 Finals. So much at stake here this weekend. I can't believe it. You know, this has been a long journey. We've gone through heats, we've gone through an LCL, and now here we are finally in the finals. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You know who else can't believe it? It's your analyst, Kelly Link. It's Vivid. Get them in here. Oh my gosh. Guys, Major one.
I actually prefer
finals.
them.
There's
Like,
so much to compete
no offense to the
for,
European people.
and the fact that there
Just
is a summit and
probably
qualification
the
to that is
accent thing.
booming over, increasing the pressure of so many of these
It's-
players and tournaments.
I guess, yeah.
I can't wait.
It's
It's gonna be
just
a fantastic weekend. How are you doing?
feels more
I'm
natural.
doing great. EU was so exciting. I mean, Sky and Scroll getting 2 victory royales is definitely something that I think some people expected, but still always a delight to see. But like you were saying, Zeke, building this major one has started, honestly, since the end of Global Championships last year when we found out that it was going to be a duos competition. Once again, everyone was wondering, well, who's the best duo in North American Central? And we're going to figure that out today, Vivid.
Yeah, the last
Not
time
really,
we
but-
talked about it, last week, and the last time we were here online for an FNCS, it was like 200 plus days. It's been so long, and then all of a sudden we jam all this Fortnite into one single week. 3 heats last weekend, right, with LCL in there as well. And now we are finally here, grand finals. This is what everybody talks about when they think about these Fortnite majors. Who's going to win? Who's going to take it home? Who's going to qualify for the
Yes,
main
sir.
event? So much to play for.
Clicks in them.
That's right, man. Let's
Take
get
it
into
on.
it. Ryan, what are we playing for? What are we doing here? Well, first, we have a little graphic lineup. Talk about the prize money on the line. So just for making it here, every duel will walk away
$100,000,
with
bro.
something. But Kelly, not only we get earning the Axe of Champions and we come in first place, we're also walking away with $100,000.
That's a lot
Oh,
of
and
money.
don't forget the coveted Kelly's Board star. Everyone wants to get the gold star. So we got 2 players walking away with those as well. But yeah, the money, the Axe of Champions going to Dusseldorf. Yeah, those are all great as well. But Vivid, I think that the more that we develop North American Central, I feel like the less it is about the money, and it is more just about the pride, the ego, the status between these players that we've seen develop for years now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the star, Kelly. You got to add one of those accolades to your reputation. That is exactly what it's all about. And NA, it's been so close over the past couple of years. I'm excited to see who's going to be the one to go ahead and take home a trophy today.
The new
My
and just
top
announced most
4.
prestigious title you can earn in Fortnite in general is the Kelly Star. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We also can't forget the top 13 will move on to the Summit, which is crazy. Qualification to Global Championship early through that. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about that. More on that later. For now, let's talk about the format. Something interesting that we've seen, Kelly, is the amount of points earned from eliminations has actually gone up to 4. So I feel like we're kind of saying, hey, if you're trying to be a Slayer, you're trying to get aggressive, you might be rewarded for that.
Yeah, with those points going up 25% to 4,
It's a nice
gonna
balance
be
between, like-
incredibly different. We haven't seen a Div Cup finals set lobby in quite a while. So we have either the performance evaluation, we have heats, we have last chance lobby. So we haven't really seen a set lobby in quite some time for that mindset, that aggressive mindset that definitely rewards some of the duos that we're going to be seeing here today. So although it is only a single point difference, Vivid, that 1 point is going to make a huge difference in our lobbies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The
I mean-
format specifically may be more rewarding in terms of how many points you are going to be able to get. But this is a grand finals lobby. Those points are
gonna get-
not going to be any easier to get, even though it may be worth more. It's always scary to see any of these teams kind of play aggressive because no matter who you're going against a grand finals qualifying team.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do, right? You suddenly jump into someone's box and you're like, oh, hello, you are equally as good as I am. Just kidding. This is now 50-50. Hope I win. Crazy stuff. Can't wait to see that. Let's take a look at some of the session summary for finals. So we've actually been doing this during the heats and the LCL to kind of break
Okay.
down some of the numbers.
Copy
We love kind of
stats.
looking into some of this stuff.
Then
You guys may
wins
want to talk us
FNCS
through. I'm seeing
titles,
one stat that definitely makes me
appearances,
laugh.
years of
Kelly, break it down
experience.
for me.
That's
I'll
a
let
lot.
Vivid break down the more important stuff, but what I think was interesting was comparing it to EU's stats. And for EU, they have 462 FNCS appearances, so almost 100 less than what we're going to be seeing here in North America Central. Now,
Probably
I don't
because
know
of
if that
the
means EU's
regions.
better or worse or whatever. You can say what you will for that, but I just thought that was an interesting stat, Vivid.
Kind of the impact of missing out some big names over there on EU for sure. FNCS
Yeah.
titles 32, land wins we got 4. FNCS finals debuts here. We have 31 players who have never played in an FNCS grand finals before today. 31 of them. So keep an eye on them, see how they kind of perform when the lights are the brightest. And Zeke, man, we got 211 years of FNCS experience. I don't know how we did the math on that one, but it's there. And dude, that is a lot of time playing Fortnite.
Yeah, shout out to the kids for getting us some information. I love to see that. But yeah, I do want to kind of double back to that stat. 31 new faces, you know, like you called out. Competition has been fierce. There's a bunch of names in even EU that haven't made it through. And so I'm excited, man. We've seen some of these new faces kind of perform in heats. Even LCL, I'm excited to see what they bring here. So speaking of things that are fun, we're going to do something fun here.
Wait, fun? Zeke, do you mean...
No. Whoa! Got you real for a second there. We're gonna do something fun. We're gonna do a little quiz. This is kind of taking me back to the drop spot. But here's how this is basically gonna work. We're each gonna have a minute, and we're each gonna ask the other two a question, and you have a minute to answer. Okay, so we're gonna start with mine.
Oh.
All right. You have 5 options. Most FNCS finals victory royale.
Oh.
Is it
Peterbot.
Acorn, Reet, Peterbot, Hoyo, Venno? What do you think?
Okay, so are we talking about this right now? So wait, are Vivid and I competing
could be
against each other? Or are we trying to
Venno,
work
though.
together?
Competing against each other, but you can talk it through a little bit. You can use
It's Venno.
So my
throw my
mind
thoughts out there.
automatically...
It's Venno.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
One is a Peterbot, but
You know,
it's
obviously
Venno.
Peterbot, Pollo, they were a duo. They were winning all of these games and everything like that. But the fact that they're up there, man, they only split for a little bit of time.
But then you got to think
So the
about
numbers are
Venno,
probably
right? You got to think of the
close.
6
Yeah,
out of
that's
12. We always think about the
honestly,
6 out of
that's
12.
why-
And
that's where
Venno,
my mind's at.
15 seconds.
And then
All
there's
right.
Reet. You know, I feel like I just have to say Reet's name in general. Okay.
All right, I think
got my
I'm gonna
answer.
lock in
Venno.
Venno.
8,
Venno.
It's Venno.
Wow, we agree.
2,
I think
It's Venno.
Yep, we're
1.
both going
Okay,
Venno.
okay.
You see?
All right, so I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
It's Venno.
Go. You guys will give me your answers, okay?
Oh,
1, 2, 3, go.
Venno.
Zeke, we already gave our answers, and the answers
No,
are
you're
on the
supposed to guess
screen.
the wrong one. Guess the wrong one. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Zeke.
Wow! Okay, the answer is in fact Venno. You guys are smart. I thought I might have tricked you. I might have tricked you there, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, Vid, you got a question for us.
I do. All right, so you're going with wins. I'm gonna be going with who do you guys think has the best average placement in
Mids.
FNCS majors? We got Cooper, Peterbot, Venno, Cold, and Reet. Good luck.
Venno.
Okay.
I think Venno
Okay,
again.
so listen, Reed, we know he has really good placement, right? Like I feel like
It's
that's
Venno.
pretty good. I don't
think it's Venno.
Peterbot has good average placement.
Yeah, because it started
overall.
What?
No, it didn't start out
I
good.
mean, if you look,
It's
if you
Venno
look
again.
back before Chapter 5, sure, but eventually those numbers are going to get like diluted by how
Yeah,
well
but
Peterbot's
Venno has been
performing. He's either gotten
consistent.
first or second place. And Cooper, although he got a global championships, I definitely don't think he's up there. Venno's not going to be up there. Cold has been doing
wouldn't be
kind of well. It's got to be Peterbot.
20 seconds,
See,
guys.
I-
Come
I
on.
think it's Venno.
Are you locked in, Kelly?
I'm now scared, realizing that you and Vivid have had your pictures
10
posted,
seconds.
and now I'm really worried of what picture they're going to use for me. But I think we have to go with Peterbot as far as average placements and FNCS
Zeke?
majors go.
I think it's
I'm
Venno.
I'm
Oh,
going Reed. I'm sorry,
Cooper.
Reed. I want to go with
Dude,
Cooper. Is it Reed?
I saw you peek at the screen. I was like, oh my god, this guy. The answers were on the screen. I saw you looking, but
Yo, it's
no,
cold.
It's actually gonna be cold.
What? But I was close, though, because
3.
I wouldn't have picked gold
Who's
because
surprised? I'm not surprised. I mean,
he
this
has won a
guy's
lot of
absolute demon,
FNCS,
close
but
behind
like,
him, Venno, shout out to Venno, man.
wow,
It's very, very
Cold
close
is
here on
consistent.
the average placement in
and the man
FNCS
doesn't even
majors.
play. That's crazy.
All right,
Dang.
now this
I didn't even
the
see it
most.
flip over. It shocked me.
Oh, that
Go,
was
Kelly.
quite a shock. This is going to be even more shocking. Is my
Okay.
question,
Oh, gosh.
everyone? Ah, God, I knew they
Best
were using
seeds,
picture.
damn,
All right,
damage
best
ratio.
seeds damage ratio. Let's look at it, Vivid.
It could either be Zen.
Bolt, Bucky, Javi, and Zen. And
It
now I
has
know
to
what
be
you're
Bolts.
thinking. Wait a
It has
second,
to be
damage
Zen or
ratio, I
Bolts.
don't see Cold
Zen or
up there, but
Bolts.
you have to remember, there's going to be a little bit of a hint here. This is Heat.
Heat?
Think about that.
It's Zen or
Okay.
could be Bucky,
have
but I
30
think it's
seconds.
Zen.
Oh man, why is it? No, we have a full minute.
Nope.
It's Zen. It's
I
Zen.
know the answer. I'll be honest with you.
I
know the
think it's
answer.
Zen.
You know the answer?
So I'm gonna wait for you to guess, and then I'm gonna say the answer.
It's Zen
Okay,
because
I'm gonna talk this through, but
they
talk this through how much
qualified,
time. I feel
or
like
they
it's
played
either
insane during Heat.
Bolts or
It's
Zen-
Bolts.
Dude, I don't know why the Bucky's
It's-
throwing me off hard.
Nah, Bucky.
no way.
Bucky's
Is it Bucky?
IGL. He's not.
Seconds.
Bucky?
He's not a fragger.
I'm
Not
locking in
only
Bucky.
is it Bucky, it's
I'm
Bucky
Bucky,
with
it's Bucky.
15.24 damage ratio. That's right, Cole, get out of here. The big buck is here to show you all.
That's
who is
crazy.
the
I
best
did not
player.
expect that.
And yes, maybe he won without getting that many eliminations in game 1 and heat 1, and maybe that threw off the damage ratio. Whatever. But Zeke, that just gets me all the more excited to watch Bucky and Zen compete.
Nah, I couldn't
in
have
this
predicted
grand
that. That's
finals.
crazy.
Thank you for that, Kelly. That was a fantastic stat and a great laugh. Thank you so much. We hope you guys enjoyed the quiz. Let us know if
Dude,
you guys think
another
it's right or
13,
wrong. Feel
14
free to tweet
minutes.
at us. Who cares? We're having a good time here. Now, it's not just us. Of course, you know your casters. It's MDF. It's Jacob PR. Let's go see what they're up to.
Yeah, but this one is going to be a good weekend. I love that quiz already going to show what we have in store for you guys today. But let's take a quick trip around memory lane. Our last 5 FNCS majors that have rolled around through this competition. And you can kind of see how the point gap has closed each and every single time. Outside of 2025 Major 1, Peterbot takes over 339 and then another 79-point win.
That's a
returns
record-setting
with a close
one.
14-point win, then back-to-back wins by 11 and 3 points. Monster, this is just going to show how close each and every single one of these majors have been.
Yeah, this is a really fun graphic because you can see the gap just shrink down so fast from 25 into, of course, the new year. But what's really interesting and my favorite takeaway from this is like every Major 1, if you think back at Acorn in specific, he has just had that Major 1 magic and he is at the top as a favorite for this season here, of course, coming in. And it's really fun to see him kind of come in a little underperforming under the weather, it seems like in the heats and whatnot, but when finals comes around, he's just like cold, right? He turns up, Jacob, he does what he has to do. And Zeke, I'm sure you guys have a lot more to say as well about these teams.
Guys, first off, it's great to see you guys. You look awesome. Yeah, there's so much to say, right, MDF? I mean, this is an absolutely packed lobby.
I
Why don't we
actually
go
like
ahead
Zeke's
and
shirt.
bring up page 1
It
of
looks
the
like a
lobby list. Okay,
sweet
so
material,
there's
that's what it
so
was.
many names, and we only have so much time to talk about all of them. Why don't we go ahead and start
Okay,
though? Acorn
Bolts.
and Bolts. Obviously, I feel like we can safely say, hey, these guys are likely going to make a top 13, right, and qual for the summit. My question would be, do we think they could go all the way? Could they earn themselves the Axe of Champions?
Oh, without a doubt, and it seems very appropriate that we do take Acorn as the first duo that
I
we're
feel
talking
like
about with
they-
Bolts, because as
they
we
will
heard
place
our
top
casters
4.
say,
They
Acorn
won't
has
win.
won the last 3 Major 1s.
I can
and
only
if
see
history
2
is
teams
going to
having a
repeat
chance of winning
itself, we
this.
might see
Clix
that
and
again
Hicks.
this
Because
weekend.
I feel like
Acorn
they
is one of the
have
smartest
something
IGLs,
in
and when
store
it comes to
that we
a
haven't seen.
tournament meta,
And then
he
the
is one of
other team is
smartest
going to be
players to
Peterbot and
kind of
Poyo.
download and
Because there's
develop
kind of
his
no
own
one
strategy based around that
that can
meta.
beat
And
them
more importantly, teamed
they're
up with
locking.
Bolt, who has time and time again proved himself as a solo competitor, even winning the solo game for heats. This duo just excites me, and I
Why does
cannot wait
Bolts
to
look
watch them
like
compete today.
what's
Some
from
of the big
Step
talk
Up?
in the town was
Lose
kind of
from
like this
Step Up.
new era of Fortnite where we're kind of taking these experienced IGLs and kind of pairing it up with these new guns, right? These younger generational players here. That's going to be Bolts, of course, in this situation. We didn't get to see a lot of this duo though in the
I
heats because of
forgot.
that solo clutch from Bolts,
Actually,
but I'm sure
forgot
we'll
I
see a
liked.
lot from them today.
It's quite.
Acorn and
yeah.
Bolts, let's go, dude. We're gonna continue the talk. Let's talk about Curve and Veno. You know we can't not talk about Veno. I mean, guys, I would go ahead and say he's Fortnite's greatest villain. And I love to hate him.
Wow.
And he's probably my favorite of all time. Don't tell him I said that. Where are these guys
Villain.
landing? What's their situation?
Oh, because of
looking like?
how full of
Well,
himself
luckily,
he is.
we have a map right here. They're landing north
I have
Battle
eyes.
Boulevard. Yeah, they've been landing here. They've been having a great spot landing here. Veno coming over from EU, kind of halfway through the chapter so far, joining up with Curve. And honestly, once again, we're talking about these veterans, picking up these newer players. And this has been an incredible pickup.
Dad.
A
I
lot
was
of the
like, who
success
is
that we've seen from them
Exit35?
during heats
Because I
was
don't know
from
other
early
Exit like
eliminations
Pro
due to
who is a
having
male
contested
and is
South
also like
Battle Boulevard.
yeah.
Obviously, we're not too
Interesting.
certain of the situation that's going on right there, so I think that might be a big question mark
Ooh.
on how they're going to be handling kind of Storm Surge, because they've had a strategy in mind so far. But Vivid, they do still have some contested teams to the northeast of them, and it's Veno, it's Curve. If anyone can figure out a solution, it's them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they were
It's
kind
gonna
of
be interesting.
thinking some stuff up, especially throughout the day, trying to figure out what they were going to do. But we just kind of
Ooh,
found
that's
out,
a
or at
new
least I
FNCS
did,
skin.
Veno, the player with the most wins throughout FNCS. So we cannot count this guy out. And again, one of those duos that's kind of finding themselves in the hat of names that people are kind of predicting in the community to go ahead and win this FNCS. So would not be surprised to see them doing well throughout the day.
Dude, I'd be so down if Veno won. That'd be sick. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let me calm myself down. Let's go ahead and talk about another duo, Cold and Rapid. These guys are landing over at Dark Dominion. So again,
I would say
guess to
Cold
pose
could
the
actually
question,
win, but I'm
do we
guessing they're
think
gonna
they can
come
walk away with
second.
the Axe of Champions? I feel
Given
like
Cold's
it's top
record
13
for
is a
having one
no-brainer,
of the
but
best.
where do we think they're going to end up on the leaderboard?
I just have to know how Cold woke up this morning. I feel like understanding what breakfast he ate will give you a better answer onto how he's going to perform compared to any kind of stats we could bring up, because he could literally not play for 3 months, load
And
in
still
for
be
one
good.
tournament, and still walk away in top 5.
And as you guys can see here on the map around them, we try to throw up
This
some numbers of
net's
how many
open.
teams are going to be landing in spots around them. We want to go ahead and preface this because, you know, the early game, it's so important, getting the Storm Surge early and not taking damage. But one of the best scenarios for kind of doing that is picking on some of these early game fights, right? Obviously, these guys are going to be running around shambles, no real builds, no opportunity to kind of, you know, settle themselves in. So Cold and Rapid, they have plenty of options kind of around where they land to kind of, you know, go out and
First game on,
attack some of those
first off.
all-spawn fights. Wanted to go ahead and show this social post right here from Cold. First game on, first one off, Lab in Grands. I love Cold so much because he just takes so much pride in being the player that is just so happy to play the game the absolute least. He was like, listen, I want to jump on, I want to win the first game, I want to be done for the day, and immediately posted it on socials where, you know, usually, Kelly, we have this conversation where it's like, wow, maybe some of these teams in this format don't actually want to win one of the games because they want to play out, they want to get more practice. Cold, nah, he will take the early win every single day.
And
It's gonna be
crazy,
some
too, because if
crazy
you watch this
clutches.
game, they all, by all means, should not have won it. They were below Storm Surge in Zone 7, Rapid Revive Cold in Zone 8. But when you have both of these players on the low ground and they're able to get refresh
Cold
after
is one of the
refresh,
best
elim
fighters.
after elim, it is only a matter of time before they walk away with the win. So Cold and Rapid right now with those 4 FNCS titles, all under Cold's name. Rapid looking to add his first one and doing it from Dark Dominion. Zeke, they might actually do it.
That's so sick, man. Center of the map. It's looking good. Okay, let's bring up that lobby list one last time. We got to show you page 1 and show you kind of the first half of that lobby as we flip on over. We've got one more duo to highlight before we get to some other news. It's Agers and Ritual over at Sandy Strip. I mean, look, we are all Ritual stands. We are all Ager stands. Seeing these guys come together has been a dominant force.
I
How do
know.
we expect them to
Is it
perform
one of
here?
them?
Obviously, the heats and even
Like,
plans, like obviously different
Canada,
context.
same Canada's
In
not
finals
been.
lobby,
It's the
though,
first
what are we thinking?
FNCS that
since the
Canada
start
didn't
of this
qualify.
chapter, Agers and Ritual have been one of the most, if not the most consistent duo, with their worst performance in a Div Cup Finals being 10th place. They are constantly in the top 3, and more so, they're constantly leading the elimination leaderboard. On average, they have more eliminations than Peter and Poyo when it comes to the Div Cup Finals. And we know that eliminations are worth just a little bit more in the grand finals, rewarding their playstyle of being consistent and also getting eliminations. When we look at duos, Vivid, we tend to kind of see them favoring either consistency or these pop-off games, but Agers and Ritual can do both.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously,
4
we know Ritual
FNCS
had
titles
a lot
right
of the
there, bro.
limelight last year, but Agers also had a very good year as well, right? First,
I feel like this
fifth,
is the
and
year for
second
Clix,
in
man.
FNCS
Come on,
finals for him.
Clix.
So yeah,
You
this
gotta
duo
lock
kind of
in,
coming
bro.
into this year,
Gotta
I feel
play
like
your
it is a
best.
strong one that needs to be looked out for, and that refresh heavy style gameplay that we're going to be seeing in the end game from these guys. Yeah, I think
Gonna
it
need
could work
milk.
very, very well.
Dude, I'm telling you, it sounds like it's not a lot, right? One more point per elim. It's not crazy, Zeke. Just wait. Just wait.
When it comes,
I said
it's
we would
gonna-
talk about other
gonna
news.
come down to
Let's
the
go ahead and get
end
into it. We
games.
talked about this back in heat number 3, and that was a rivalry. Clix versus Peterbot. We got a snippet, you know, sneak peek back in heat 3, but here we are again in the context of finals. Talk to me about this matchup. You guys have a ton of information to share with the Fortnite fam.
Yeah, I mean, we can say
It's
share, but it's
time.
something that we've all been following along since the start of the chapter. Honestly, even going back before the chapter, there has been a rivalry, a discourse between Clix and Peterbot. And regardless of how you
He's
feel
just
as
like the
them
weirdest.
as players and competitors, they have honestly been carrying North American Central as far as entertainment goes. And that peaked during the heats when we saw Peterbot during heat number 3 tweet
Saying
out
he's
that
gonna
he was
land
going to be landing
Wonky.
Wonky against Clix and Higgs. And Vivid, we saw how that worked out.
Yeah,
They got
absolutely.
destroyed
Obviously,
by
they were already kind
Clix.
of qualified through heats at that point, so they decided to go ahead and change drop spots, and it looked like they were going to be completely committed to it. They even went ahead, took some time out of one of those
Peak
heat
and
games,
Pollo.
and made sure they put their initials up there on top. Peterbot and Pollo were very interested in kind of taking over Wonky in finals, but
Doing
Kelly,
the
that
credit,
didn't really last long.
that's wild, bro.
No, because as we would think, you know, it's Clix and Higgs. They're not going to be backing down. They're not going to be giving up. And so they posted themselves a tweet saying Wonky in grand finals. And in fact, in a follow-up tournament that we got to see from them, we actually saw Clix and Higgs go up against Peterbot and Pollo. And in the first few seconds of that, it looked like it was going to be going into the way of Pete and Pollo. Higgs actually getting knocked off the mountain and getting eliminated right away. But it is Clix. He knew that this was it, do or die. If he was going to be holding Wonky Land,
Ooh, that
it
was a
had
nice
to
shot
be
from
now.
Clix.
Getting the 1v2 against Pollo and Peter and claiming the spot for his own, sending them back to Squibbly. To me, Vivid, that is what Fortnite's all about.
Yeah, and you can see here the message was clear. We know what you guys did. Look at this. We're going to be putting
Easy
our
on
initials
Clix.
on top of the drop spot. C and H up there on top of it. So yeah,
Let's
we are
see, like an
expecting
old
Clix and
10
Higgs to have
FNCS
untested Wonky
titles.
and Peterbot and Pollo
6 of
went
that is
back over to Squibbly.
Peterbots.
Big talk of the town,
Oh.
though, right? The comparison between the two FNCS finals appearances is going to be pretty similar. The experience is going to be there. The FNCS titles is where we see the largest gap in this comparison. 10 FNCS
But
titles.
it
on the
doesn't
side
mean
of
if you don't
Peterbot
win,
and
you don't
Pollo,
have the
and then 0
experience.
on the side of Clix and Higgs. But that's what he is all about right now. Clix is worried about one thing and one thing only.
Winning.
And that is an FNCS win.
Yeah. So
Oh
come on,
my
Clix.
gosh, it's
Imagine
happening,
if
guys.
it's the night.
happening right now. I cannot believe it. We are so close to kicking off finals. Man, to see these guys go head to
2
head.
minutes.
I mean, I don't know. Do
This is
we
gonna
think
be
this-
interesting.
Do we think this could be the one, Kelly, Viv? We could finally see Clix
Pop
walk
off.
away with that title. Is it? Or is it gonna? Or is it just gonna kind of devolve and become like, hey, you know, we have a tournament going on, but we're just gonna come over here. And we're gonna fight it out every game, and then whatever happens in the tournament, whatever.
I really
You
out
know,
Clix and then
there's
lock
so much
in,
you can say
bro.
about Peterbot and Pollo, so many accolades you can give them that we really don't need to kind of prove their worth, their abilities. We saw the FNCS titles that they have. We saw the appearances, how many times they're getting top 5. But for Clix and Higgs, and they don't have that FNCS title, that is the big story. It is the David versus Goliath. Are they going to be able to take down the demons of North American Central? And I think as far as we have ever seen Vivid in the last few years of competition, as soon as this kind of rivalry has started, that this is the best that they have ever looked. And personally, over the last few days of scrims that we've seen, their adaptation to how they're holding high ground, even though it's early, and I know we don't like that, with these kind of little adjustments that they're doing to hold high ground have really been impressing me.
Yeah, exactly. They have been performing well. They've been putting in the time, the effort, the practice. I think they have the end game figured out, right? Clix and Higgs, I think they're doing well, but I think Peterbot and Pollo, they've got something up their sleeve. I think that, you know, they should be feeling comfortable towards the end game. I myself am worried about the early game. Remember, Peterbot
Yeah,
put
it's-
on
it's-
socials,
it's-
hey,
everything
this is gonna be
starts
like
there
Boxy
because-
V2 this
but I
season.
guess
Do we remember kind of
mid
what
game is also
happened
important
last
because you
time
need to
we were in
survive till end game.
FNCS online?
Keep your
Peterbot
heals,
literally
choose your
landed
fights,
on somebody else in the
get
last
storm,
final 2 games to go ahead and
storm
win that
damage.
FNCS
Oh,
by
not storm
3
damage.
points.
What do
If
you
it's
call it?
close again, man, the early game, it could be shaken up a lot. Peterbot proving he's down to do it. I don't know if he's gonna do it this weekend, but he's willing.
Oh man, anything can happen. We have 12 games total, 6 today, 6 tomorrow. It is that time. Major 1 finals are kicking off. So casters, take it away.
Monster, I don't think I've ever been more excited for an FNCS in my life. The storylines coming into this major are almost impeccable. We have so many teams that can actually pull out that first place.
Yeah, that's right. And the tension is starting to heat up. You know, competition on EU has always been known to be phenomenal, but there's something about the aura on NA that the entertainment is literally peak. And of course, it comes down to the rivalries and the bar Peterbot has set for the entire region. But now, again, for others, it's about that legacy, right, Jacob? We want to see who, of course, is going to be the first Major 1 champ.
Yeah, will we see somebody return to their former glory, win another FNCS for their accolades? Maybe a first-timer like Clix and Higgs could win, or maybe Monster. Maybe in a dream world here, one of our first-time finalists can end up with an FNCS champion. Either way, there's still more than that up for grabs because there's 13
There we
spots
go.
for the Major 1 Summit land. And yes, you guys
battle
heard that
bus,
right. The battle bus is ready. Let's get into the Major 1 finals.
Good.
This will be the most intense Major 1 that we have ever had in the history of Fortnite, because 13 teams will be going to a LAN event to try to fight their way for a global championship spot. And not only that, we of course have
I think Squibbly saw us Humble Yields is where I'm not sure where Peterbot
be the
went.
cherry on top.
Okay, we see Peterbot in them. I think they're coming to.
Major ones. For some
Oh,
reason,
Golden.
the top of the season
Golden is
the
just
one for him.
opposite.
Peterbot and Poyo, not too different. I know we know them to land at Squibbly Shores, but they make a short
Well,
pit
it's
stop here at the
Squibbly, I was
gas
right.
station. They get the instant slurp truck, so that way they can utilize shields later on in the game. Clix and Higgs, no surprise contested fights for them. And honestly, there were a few teams for both Squibbly and Wonky Land that were kind of teasing. Maybe we drop over here. Maybe we contest.
The problem they have, if they win here,
so
and they go to
crazy, but it's glad to see
next
our top
season.
teams here uncontested.
Clix and Higgs have quite literally gone through a Ferris wheel of emotions just to get their draw spot confirmed to themselves. For others, not so much of the same story here for Avenger.
Luckily, it's not
Instead,
grand,
we
so
can see
you
they
won't get
a little bit of a
contested.
drop, landing, investing
Oh, no.
through here. And
He's
Chris,
already
who
out,
we've
bro.
seen have fair amount of success coming out of the Heat,
Okay,
as they're
there's a-
one of the
there's a
consistent
fight.
mid-game teams. But give that a second. Let's jump in with Ulk and Electro here. This is a pretty interesting
Electro-
fight at the Battlewood.
Electro
it was
qualified
actually a huge moment for Electro
in
at
last
least,
chance, I
qualifying
think.
through the last chance qualifier just to get here, an amazing clutch. And I know we all see the mending machine plays, but the
There's
fashion
Curve.
in which Electro was
Curve
able to
and-
clutch
and-
it
and
out,
Vino
but
is
it
there.
never gets easier, does it? Monster contested side
Skidler.
south of Battlewood Boulevard. Luckily for them, they're not necessarily fighting it out for the eliminations. They're just simply trying to get loot, maybe some extra surge
Ooh,
before they continue on.
there's
with the
already a
rest of the
fight.
game, but not all
Ooh, who
fights
went down?
do
Who's
end
that?
up that way. Skidler does get an early game elim onto G Money, which kind of brings it down to a 1v1 on that side of the map.
Okay, so we
Hopefully
got
for
that
Skidler's
Curve.
going to clutch that one up and at least keep himself in the
And
game
Vino.
here. Curve and of course Veno, though eyes are on them to the north side of the Battlewood Boulevard. So already the story's unfolding. The drop maps teaser is true. There's roughly 3 teams in this area. Now Battlewood Boulevard, if you have the northern side, is big enough for the 2. However, we will see most likely different clashes go down there. So we'll see how Veno and Curve kind of hold it down for Mako and Blinks. This is one of the more scary parts of the map, right? We've seen a lot of lurk plays in the Heats here, so everyone's got to be careful.
Yep, they get that unstable molecule underneath, which kind of unlocks that rare chest there. Seeing it's going to get a little bit of a boost. To
That's
his
kind of
loadout,
weird,
being
like
able to
hearing
trade
the
that twin mag
unstable
SMG
molecule,
for that
like
assault
it's
rifle.
reminds me of
Kinda
Marvel
give him a little
Rivals.
bit more to work with. Like Mako was a team that
Where you need
qualified with
unstable
a VR
molecules
out of Heats. They went through a little bit of drop spot
to
roulette
unlock
before they made it here in the
certain,
finals, but at
skins.
least they're able to make it off spawn. Agers and Ritual. A lot of our early game here, Monster, is kind of business as usual for Agers and Ritual, uncontested over towards Sandy Strip.
One
And
thing
the
I
thing
like is
about
Storm
them is typically they would use
takes
that
quite
blob, launch themselves
rough.
off to try to third party somebody. A lot of the surrounding lands for Agers and Ritual in this game, number 1, are going to be uncontested as well. So
Bucky and
interesting to
Zen.
see how they get their surge.
Yeah, they'll likely have a really difficult time come the mid game, but we'll see what they have sort of strategized to make up for that. And it's kind of interesting because everyone who's broken down their drop, looked at things from a high level, they all recognize that there could be a major problem with capturing damage. So surely they have a strategy and plan, as do Zen and Bucky here. You can see not too far off from them, right? Trying to play this high ground, but you talk about how desolate the general area is. There's no
1v2.
relatively inside. Jumping back with Avenger and Sniper, though, they're trying to finish up the fight here. We saw that they took down Drew. Now it's up to Chris to try and survive the test of time, but it's not looking too hot here.
Yeah, Chris is gonna
They're gonna
good job
they're gonna
here
move on team.
stalling
Okay.
this one out, drawing time, but The more time it takes, the more resource you kind of burn through here, especially with both players just trying to spray their way into the box, getting you to use your material. Chris is still doing a good job of just all this time that he's wasting here for Avenger and Sniper, because even if they do win this fight, you got to start to calculate how much damage Chris was able to fire back, where that was Storm Surge, all the materials and resource that he did get him to wait. You know, he's still going to go down with a fight, but unfortunately, no resource, no teammate, no chance to get back into this game.
He put a lot of counter damage back on both sides.
Go to Clix and them, bro. Okay, Clix and them won't fight yet, so even Peterbot and they both not contested.
Also in a bit of a scramble, Minish and Hobby seem to get away with the advantageous exchange there. And they're going to be content with that, with a quick disengage as opposed to fighting for the full finish. Meanwhile, Olsen and Scare see a little bit of that happening there in the distance.
Okay.
Back into the storm we go, though, Jacob. We have Raven and Riley in a fight right now.
Yeah, it's Raven and Riley here were a good surprise, a pleasant surprise.
I don't know these players, I'm not gonna lie.
Not necessarily through a VR, but it's how consistent they were.
There's probably people who qualified through the ones that got disqualified, so some of these names I've never heard of. That's why there's like 31 new like teams who have never played FNCS.
That they do have the blueprint
because of people who probably were disqualified.
That they are and putting up a good fight, kind of forcing those here in Ishu to struggle just a little bit, is a good sign of things to come for a team that is this young. But you can kind of see a lot of what they have in the inventories from both teams' perspective. And for Raven and CDZ, they're officially on a clock here. Yes, they have gold. They could go south to the vending machine, but in terms of being in this
I always say
fight,
don't fight in Storm, bro.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
31 players making their
because even if you win a fight, you're gonna use so much resources. But I guess when you siphon,
very smart play by them not to kind of do it here in the storm like you talked about. That clock, that timer is on. The damage does tend to rack
Seek
up.
is dead.
We'll end up catching back up with them. Back on Taki and Seek, though. This is of course, a very much experienced team when it comes to these finals set lobbies. I think Kelly said it best at the top of the show.
The sneak up strat.
Weeks,
the 3-2-1 strat.
Real kind of representative set lobby of this caliber. So obviously leave it to grand finals to give us a real look at some
they actually survived, bro.
So far, you see a lot of disengages, Jacob. Players are treating this like a finals as we would normally expect. And the player count is showing it. 84 still standing here now.
Yeah, that just means that Storm Surge is really going to play an impact here in the early.
That's a word I was forgetting. Storm Surge. I said storm damage earlier.
Actually pulls a lot of that control is going to.
Okay. The storm is moving, so where's the most points so far? Because they have 4 points. They had 1 elimination, I guess.
Bide for their time, wait for teams to rotate in. But Acorn and Bolt, instead of waiting at the top of their mountain like we typically do see, whether if it's a Div Cup, Eval, or just in scrims, they made it a priority in this game to rotate off the top of that mountain and get as close to the center of the zone as possible. Just going to show Acorn plenty of tricks underneath the sleeve. This is going to be one hard team to read.
Yeah, and already
so the
kind of
43 of the 40.
To get that continued
right, so there's only like 49
now
teams.
Popping shots from the bush, trying to see if he can tempt someone to overpeak, maybe fire back.
So I guess like there weren't 50 teams.
There. Here we have Muzz and Sphinx.
But probably not a lot.
Scenario, different setting though. Muzz up top, Sphinx down at the bottom, replenishing material here.
It's just gonna be tough for teams like this. Sphinx and Muzz, Aviv and King, kind of 2 different smaller surge bases over at Sus Studios. When teams see that in the distance, they're gonna try to stray away from rotating in that direction. So yes, they might not necessarily get keyed by any teams that might be low on surge, but getting those tags is going to be infinitely harder the more they're positioned up.
Ooh, we just got tagged.
Already having that 1 elimination kind of eases the pressure up for their early game. You know, Veno's the one that kind of lurks around, replenishes the loadout, the materials. So there's a lot in trust in Curve here. Not only just today, but throughout 12 games to really build them that cushion for the early game surge. That way they can rotate as they want as the game goes on.
I've seen enough footage of Veto to know that when he says it's time to go, you better listen or he's going to crash out. So we'll see if Curve can keep up, because now it's finals time, and this is where the pressure does start to set in for some of our younger.
There's still a lot of people alive.
We've been touting this whole conversation around this is the time for the new age. So we'll see who from the new guard is going to be up at the top of the standings when it's all said and done after the 12 games this weekend. Cold, someone who is most notable for just showing up and putting in the work, regardless what you might think of his practice regime offline. When it comes to finals time, he does not play.
I just think of Cole in that step. Practice? You talking about practice? Like, what is that? Like, he just gets on, plays the game, gets right off. And honestly, I can just see him winning this FNCS, logging right off, and just going to have a good rest of his Sunday. But he has to earn it. 12 games here. And you notice one thing in his inventory. They were able to get the Mythic Chaos Reloader shotgun. Once you get that boss, it's not even a guaranteed chance. It's like a 33% chance. So already in game 1, the odds are in their favor.
Everyone is towers like ready out.
Is just screaming
it's
to
just
get out
time
of my way.
to kind of like
fun quick stat
shoot
here.
people
78
now.
players trying to qualify for their first LAN. We talked about how there's 31 players making it to their first finals, but 78 of the total lobby has never sat on stage in a LAN environment, not when it comes down to the majors. That's a very interesting take here.
Okay, so
just shows you how much more there is to be
Pete and Boyo
for some here.
they're chilling in Storm.
Has to reflect in the hunger and the preparation, of course, coming in.
Oh,
Peterbot, Boyo, what do you think about this?
they're
Playing the
taking
Storm
damage.
right now.
They're taking
It's
damage.
not necessarily anything too different. They have the squibbly shores. There's a lot of extra heals. Yes, they're in the zone now, but they got the mending machine below them, uncontested drop. You got to imagine the gold that they have in their inventory, and if things do get worse, they could jump back towards squibbly shores. There is a lot of extra heals over there, plus they do have the rift, his power. Penta,
4 points.
another one of the teams that
Time to get that 8.
necessarily didn't know where they were going to drop to start the day, going over towards the south
now
side
now
of the map.
it's
Already getting that
Storm
first
Surge is really
elimination and
starting
kinda
now.
helps their Storm Surge totals overall. 500 monster and 37 damage above the threshold. And with the zone looking like it's kind of pulling towards the south side of the map, they don't really have to worry about much other than a max pull.
One thing you will notice is that eliminations are, of course, rewarding more points. So when you see players like Penta here racking up these elims, they are, of course, rewarded for taking the fight and taking on the risk of taking a battle in a finals. 4 points is nothing to overlook. Can definitely jump you up a significant amount on the standings as you start to, catch these early game eliminations. If you can catch your footing and find placement later into
There's
the
Clix
tournament.
and Eggs, bro.
Jumping
Show us
into
where
the
they
Storm, though, here we have Highlands Wagers looking like he is teamless.
Oh no.
But to say below the damage threshold as well. So even though he is going to be barely 22 above the damage threshold, you got to imagine what other teams are going through in the same position. You can see CDZ Raven 257 below, trying to take the attack on the Muss and the Liquid. Keep pushing them back. They're going to be above the damage threshold, a little bit more control over their game, but they're just getting pushed, and they really have no choice over the matter.
To fight
For
that.
CDZ and Raven, they're officially on a clock here. Storm Surge hasn't activated yet, but once it does, every 7 seconds, 25 damage to either shield or HP, and it's going to hurt mid-fight.
Well, I can say this. They're doing the right thing. They're taking the fight early before it actually turns on. We've seen a lot of players, when they make their way to finals, they hesitate a little too long in trying to fish for fights, but at least this team here started sooner rather than later. But not finding that damage on time. You can see already the Surge
nice.
starting to do exactly what it's supposed to. Meanwhile, Raven misses a very important shot.
Blake.
Could very well literally be a game-changing shot.
Oh, no.
Right back in for seconds, but he eats just a little bit too much damage. Storm Surge ticks again, and instead of going down, if you guys get ticked by Storm Surge, you get actually eliminated. That puts so much more pressure onto CDZ here because he has to worry about over 200 damage, maybe getting his teammate back, and then resources on top of that while still rotating to the zone. It's not going to be in a great position here to try and out-heal it. You see 79 players still left alive, so even if he survives this one, he's going to be below in the next zone as well.
Yeah, you saw there in the side-by-side, Osid finishing up Blake and Preston as well during that Surge exchange. So a lot happening here, faster than we can even watch everything unfold. For CDZ, though, pressure is on. I do find it interesting that they went for leaving Raven behind the fight.
Oh,
and then
no.
CDZ trying to play for a position in the zone, but look at that. It's even now not going to play off your threats.
Fits.
Of course, has found himself here in the finals. Now finds a nice elimination there, and they're above the Surge, so extra damage, giving them that little bit more cushion here. Jacob is going to make the best of this game.
Yeah, and already I'm seeing another mythic Iron
I
Pulse
wonder what-
shotgun, and already Fortnite's saying, hey, we're gonna give everybody as good a chance to get the best loadout as possible. Alongo and Lulu trying to make it in from outside of the zone. One of them gets cut short. 171 above the damage threshold. Lulu's only worry is just trying to survive, but I said that maybe a little bit too soon. 16 below. Trying to say a prayer here to try to survive because they're right next to another team with a rotation to go. And you can see in the mini map that side of the zone is looking more and more stacked with each
Where's
passing
Clix and
second.
Leagues, bro? Show us where they
It's
are.
definitely starting to stack up here. But Lulu under the surge, just barely, only needs to find a tag. Already starting to gas out of heals though. Trying to wait this one out. There it is. At least things pause here while the rotates happen, but great shot there. Puts him at least in the game for now.
No.
4 tags from behind, and the surge just finishes the job there. We'll see who ends up getting rewarded with the points, but no, look at this. Even in Prom, we're actually under the surge there too. So a lot happening all at once here. But hey, if you thought we forgot
Boyo,
about the big
okay.
names, give it a second here. Boyo showing us that he is in this game, and they were also almost under the surge, really showing you that
Clix
these
and
FNCS
Leagues?
finals
What
lobbies
is happening?
is no joke.
Yeah, it's a whole different playing field. And I've always said it, when you play opens, when you play eval opens or any of the qualifying rounds, it's a little bit of a different feel. You see teams kind of WP rounds or 20, 30 elimination games. When you end up in a set lobby with the best of the best,
Oh, there
in the
they are.
entire
Okay, okay.
region, it's
They
much
are.
harder to get that much freedom to run around. That's where you're seeing a few more struggles than you normally would in some of our earlier rounds. No struggles here, though, looking like so far from Clix and Iggs. Over 200 above the damage threshold. Multiple slices of pizza. They have the fizz. They have the shockwaves as well. 6 zones, so rather early to say this team's going to go for high ground, but so far in a lot of our tournaments and in some of those scrim games, they are the team that goes for it almost every single time.
Still see Peterbot, Boyo, Cold Rapid, Reek, Cooper, Muzz, Sphinx, Acorn, Bolts. A lot of big dogs left in the game right now. Cooper, Reed, 5 below here.
Ooh.
So everything, of course, coming to a close here for some. Agers and Ritual fighting for their tournament life right now. 31 below, possibly going to find themselves in a surge here. And in the storm, and Seek is just holding on to dear life here, grabbing that wall. Agers, Ritual have had enough, though. Into the box they go. They make sure they finish things up. On the other side, you see Cooper, Reed, of course, finding the few tags that they need to stay very much safe and alive here now. And love how this is all playing out, but the rotates have to come through. Aegis Ritual go for the big bounce, and they're in.
Yeah, you just got to be careful rotating up mountains
Oh,
like this
getting
with those
really tired now.
shockwaves. Yes, it's going to be the easiest chance you can to get up the map. You see players flying by, but it also leaves you open to getting beamed. And depending where you're at in the Storm Surge leaderboard, might not necessarily be a good thing in the feed. Kind of see Rezi going down, Light falling. Higgs is able to get an elimination onto Zen as well. So rotating is never easy for anyone. That's why it's important. That's why you see Cold and Rapid making the rotation early. That allows them to look back at the side of zone and kind of pad that cushion when it comes to Storm Surge.
Oh
Actually,
no.
like Clix might have got the knock and Higgs with the finish right there. So that's a real interesting pickup. But look at this. Cooper lost on the rotate here. Reed and Cooper have to play hyper aggressive. They are continuing to flirt
Curve
that
and
line,
Venno.
it's all come to catch up. Cooper no longer in the game here. It's all up to Reed.
Bolts. Oh no.
Misses a few shots, but finds a couple onto Bolts. All right, this is going to keep him closer and closer to being safe, but he is still not safe just yet. And I'm curious why he's not just firing blindly at different boxes right
Where's
now.
Venno? Is Venno dead? Because I only see Cove there.
Yeah, luckily for him, I believe somebody else
I
did
just
damage. He lands another shot. He's waiting for the last possible moment to get off of this high ground. 1 shock left, only 5 builds. The Siphon comes through just like you said in time. He definitely would have been down and eliminated. Just a sliver of HP left. Trying to break through the wall, find a path, but he gets found out first. That's Curve who actually gets that elimination, but you're seeing the struggles the entire lobby is going through. Now Agers left with 44 HP as a solo. Acorn down in the distance. I was waiting for the moment almost every single time. You've got Clix and Higgs on high ground.
Clix Higgs playing for high ground, overdrive shocks to go ahead and secure the next positioning over. And of course, you got to start pressuring those second layer teams here. A lot of ammunition in Clix's loadout. Take a look though, Boyo, Peterbot continuing to do what they do best, and they actually find Acorn on the rotate right there. Another favorite down here. But of course, it is not over yet. I still see Bolt standing. I see Rapid there in the distance too. Let's see what Bolt can do by himself. Of course, playing for a machine there, trying to get some extra heals to buy himself some time. And this, Jacob, is where all the big positioning points of course start to add
Clix and
up.
Iggs is securing the high ground.
No, it's sometimes the
Pollo and
necessary
them,
evil in a
yo,
game
bruh,
like this,
they
but
at the
he's given
bottom, but
himself
it's
a second
crazy, dude.
opportunity in
But
this
they're still
game.
getting
And we've already
eliminations.
seen in the
24,
qualifying rounds
dude.
him slip into a victory
That's
royale
6
as a
eliminations.
solo. This is another big moment and chance to do that. Peterbot Pollo jumping to the front side of zone, not ready to contest the high ground just yet. You can see that Clix and Higgs have that one locked down, taking turns, shockwave to the front,
okay.
reclaiming high ground.
Okay, now Clix is also okay. Nice. They should not fall, bro. They should not fall.
And they're doing it
Yo,
perfect.
they're just
I
getting
love
like
the
all the
shockwave,
eliminations and stuff. Let's see.
Positioning, repositioning there, like you said, saving material.
Nice.
This is not something we saw any other team employ in the heats. Most teams, of course, opted to just do the traditional tarping across, but Clix and Higgs using
They have the
that
high
very
ground, getting like all the
critical
eliminations
mobility
in.
here early to just conserve some mats. You gotta love it.
Come on,
And
Clix, get
already
that
paid
Mars,
off, but
get
look at this,
Mars
Peterbot and
elimination.
Pollo on the bottom right have not stopped their just reign of terror on the low and mid ground. Meanwhile, Muzz and Sphinx find their
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very, very interesting.
Gets the mats there too. Finally, though, Peterbot goes for high ground, and it's coming to a crash.
Oh no.
Tries to chop him down, but Clix Higgs quickly get wind of that.
Ooh,
Tries to attach
Clix,
themselves, and now
no!
they're shockwaving over. They said if you want high ground, come take high
Clix
ground.
is low.
Now they're beating
Ah, so
from
is
above.
up.
The
What's
Thunderbirds just melting through those
what Clix
materials,
up?
but
What is it?
Peterbot,
Pollo.
they go up yet again. Distractions allowing for Pollo to do
Ooh.
this, attacking from the side, but he's realizing without build, he cannot continue.
Oh
to put
yes,
down that pressure.
Peterbot gun went down.
As well, but he goes down to a beam, an attack. They
Pollo,
go
okay.
sideways. Peterbot
Pollo.
needs to be able to clutch up with an elimination on the cold. That might be step one.
This is what Pollo's been doing all week long. You know, it's so incredible
Okay,
to
Clix,
see Pollo
just stay
continue to
alive.
clutch from
Higgs.
the heats now into the finals when it matters most.
Come
Clix is
on,
gonna go down,
Clix.
and it's all up to Higgs on the high ground. So we got solo
Okay,
Pollo
Pollo's
down,
out. Okay,
playing the
let's go.
disruptor. He goes
Come on,
down,
Higgs.
and
Come on,
just
Higgs. You
like
got
that,
this.
It's only up to Higgs up top. Still
about-
though, Muzz Sphinx in the game here. Higgs still
Come
has
on,
a bit
Higgs.
of control, but no more materials. So it's just a countdown now to see how long he can survive.
Yeah, Higgs did a good amount of damage on the Muzz, making him kind
No!
of second guess. Is that
There
for
he
us?
goes
They go
down.
back to it though. Yes, it is. They realized it was a 2v1 against Higgs and immediately beeline their way towards that high ground. Aviv, he's gonna be the only solo
Hey,
left in
dude,
this
it's
game.
already
He
a
has
bad
big
start for
shot
them,
trying
but
to
it's
disrupt the
okay.
path of that
They
duo
got the
down below at
eliminations.
Ruins. As he goes down, Visuals and Braid still alive. 3 teams left in one of the most chaotic starts to a tournament.
Gifted with a
This is
random
really,
exit there,
really
still have
bad.
beats in the loadout. They do have a win
So
condition
Muzz
opened up.
is
and
looking-
Sphinx, we didn't see any white heels on them. So this is gonna be an all-out filthy clash on the low
This
ground.
is gonna
Braids
be
and
crazy.
Visuals still in the mix here as well. This is a team that has, you know, again, no strangers to victory royales in these set lobby settings. But look at this, high ground's got a bit of a disruptor coming up. Sinwash says, you know what, I'm gonna go for height instead of low ground. But as he comes down,
Braids.
Visuals, Braids gets gifted with a little bit of a refresh. That
Muzz
might
and
be
them are gonna
just
win.
enough match that they needed there to stay in the game.
Yeah, Ruins and his duo going up almost solidified the victory for Braids and Visuals down below. A good amount of damage on a Muzz and Sphinx, giving a huge advantage to Visuals and Braids. They even have the med kit down below. A possible heal-off win condition in the books for Visuals, but it's really going to be up to Muzz and Sphinx how they play this situation. Visuals, Braids, they're going up. They don't want to win by heal-off. They want to win it by force. Even tried to chop down the high ground, but we're going over recycled build, so it's not going to be that
Muzz is
easy.
down.
But Muzz goes down first. It's only a simple knock by himself. I'm not sure who's going to get the credit as Sphinx finds the mending machine. Oh my gosh, how much gold does he have? Because that is going to be the difference for another pay-to-win scenario in FNCS Finals.
And although the med kit came out from Braids and Muzz's body was there, I don't think he saw where Muzz was actually fully landed. In the end, though, Braids had just enough gas in the
Yeah.
tank there, Jacob, to go ahead and take
Okay, let's
that
see.
dub.
What? That's the
just
leaderboard
difference
looking at.
maker right there from actually using the patch up and maybe getting some med kits out of it. But Visuals and Braids win game number 1 and start FNCS on fire, Zeke.
Oh man, Jacob PR, I thought for a moment we were having another pay to win. This is a joke situation. Whoa, Visual and Braids come out with the win. To think in that situation, obviously like they don't know, but if they were to go back and say like, oh, they were on that mending machine, they just ran out of gas, they didn't have the gold, and now it's enough to get a victory royale in game.
It was literally a risk.
1. That's huge, Kelly. That's the kind of momentum we need.
And Visuals and Braids, this isn't necessarily new for them. It's a duo that we kind of frequently look over when we have so many big names in our NA region. but Visuals and Braids are consistently making it into the FNCS Grand Finals and consistently performing pretty well, Vivid.
Yeah, I mean, they ended last year with a couple of 4th places in Major 2 and Major 3, so placed very, very well last year. But I gotta tell you, that game from them was played so well the entirety throughout, right? Whenever we were kind of looking at the whole lobby in that zone, kind of making their rotates, people going crazy for high ground, Visual and Braids, they were just that duo that kept being in the exact same spot no matter how the zone is moving. They were on that front side of the moving zone, all the way on low ground. They completely dominated that position, and yeah, as all of the chaos kind of unfolded, they just kept it rolling, right? They were healthy, and when there was only a couple of duos left in their way
Oh
towards
man,
the end
this was
of
an
the
entertaining game.
they just kind of clutched up and got the elims. But
I think Clix need to
Storm
just.
Sickness plays
It's
a
important
part
to
here
survive to
early
that
in
last
NCS
last game,
Braids
so
was
they need
actually gonna
to
go ahead
kind
and
of look
lose this
at.
heal up when we had that, both the POVs that were actually up. I think Sphinx was actually like 10 HP ahead, but one tick of Storm
It's still
Sickness
not.
actually
It's the
came
first
in
game.
and took Sphinx out. So Braids
89
Visuals
point.
got the clutch there. First win of FNCS.
Let's look at the points.
That's the way we want to start, right? This is awesome, and we are excited to break down more of that game. First, a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about more of what we saw out of game number one. So stay tuned.
How long is this break gonna be? Okay, so it's 3 minutes in between. So it's like, ooh, if you started at 11, oh no, it's gonna go like, if you look at it like 3 minutes from now, and they're still gonna talk for another 2 minutes. It's gonna be like an hour a game basically. It's gonna be like a 6-hour event. Somerset, Moxie, and I don't know what's the other girl's name. Canada. Germany. So it's next month. That's gonna be the LAN event. Excuse me, sorry. Ooh, that's a nice shot. Boom. Need to showcase.
I got here. I'm popping in that bit. Wait, short.
Ooh, he got the pot. What's he gonna do though? Lucky. No. No. Yo. Oh my. He was about to die. What chance did we feature?
You're not used to losing. Getting beaten?
Not like this. These players are just so locked in.
Could it be the milk?
Mocha sneaked in second.
Stay there.
I like Matsu's skin, man. He has taste, bro. What's her name again? My favorite skin in Fortnite. Crystal. Summer's Crystal.
Welcome back to the FNCS game number one. I can't believe it, finals. Here we are, in case you missed it. Visual and Braids pick up a victory royale against Muzz and Sphinx. It was close, came down to the wire. but ultimately Visual and Braves
Reveal
win
that
out.
leaderboard, man.
As we prepare ourselves to kind of take a look at the leaderboard, game number 1 of finals was chaotic. I feel like we got a little bit of everything, right, Kelly and Viv? I mean,
Clix and
we got
they,
high
hey,
ground, we got
okay,
Clix
52
versus
points,
Peterbot,
not
we got
bad, not
soaring
bad.
through the air with overdrives. We got
Yo,
it all.
Pollo
I
and
mean, if you
Peterbot,
actually
dude.
rewatch our show open, we actually showed
Dude, they
high
just do
ground with Clix and
crazy in
Higgs
terms
going up
of
against Peterbot and Pollo, and
yeah.
it was very reflective of what we just saw at the end of game 1. This is clearly a strategy that not only Clix and Higgs had in mind, but Peterbot and Pollo as well. They kind of read Clix and Higgs, knowing that they were going to take height early, and you saw that when they kind of went for height, Vivid, they didn't necessarily go for height. Instead, it looked like they were going for Clix and Higgs.
Yeah, exactly right. At one moment, it kind of looked like they could have just kind of like walked up, but they were going instead for the fight, like you mentioned. And this was kind of crazy, like watching these two duos
I don't think
go head to head for the high
Yo,
ground.
was that cold?
Crazy, like watching.
Was that? No, that was a thief. That shot, but Cold came around.
Kind of go head to head for the high ground.
That's kind of crazy.
It looked like you would try some of this
And
stuff
all
like
Clix had to
scrim
do
game
is
as opposed to,
survive,
like,
bro.
an
If he did
FNCS
survive.
grand finals lobby for game number 1, like they just kept going up and up and
Pollo
up
was
and
just
trying
crazy,
again
bro.
and
We
again
got
and
the
again.
elimination
And,
after
you know, listen,
elimination.
I had a
we got-
little like a shower thought, I guess you could kind of call it, after watching EU Grands and how kind of successful
he
some
just
of the
went
teams
in
were
that
by
box. He was a
not
bit
playing for high
desperate there.
ground. And my immediate thought was, I was like, man, I kind of hope that Peterbot and Pollo are
How
kind of like
did
the team
Clix
on NA
die?
that we
He
see
didn't
just
watch
not
his
go for
back
high ground
again,
and
I
kind of
think.
concede it, because
Let me see
if
how
you
he
take a
died.
look at the position that they were in game number 1 before they went for high ground, they were so healthy. They could have just kept going with the flow, you know, playing their mid ground layer. They had 6 eliminations. They were fine. And instead, you kind of get the situation where they go
Oh,
for high,
Clix
they
died.
take the 2v2, and both Clix and Higgs and Peterbot and Pollo kind of, as the dust settled, neither one of them were in a good spot.
Ooh.
Just terrifying visuals there from the high ground. But I mean, you know, Viv, I'm here for it. I'm here to see these two duos go head to head. That's what I'm here for, man. Excitement. Also, I have to highlight there as well. I mean, Muzz and Sphinx ending that and almost winning it out, right? Storm Sickness kind of being the decision maker there. Love seeing this strong start. There we go. Out of Muzz and Sphinx. This is how I'm excited to talk about Muzz. Can you tell?
I can tell.
But excited to see them.
I mean, who doesn't stutter when we talk about Muzz? I mean, there's a reason why he's our international player. But Muzz and Sphinx, once they had the high ground, it looked like it was going to be their game. But honestly, I think it's less of what they did incorrectly and more of the fact that we had Braids on the low ground getting
How
some
did he
eliminations
survive,
from
dude?
that other team down
No,
below.
Muzz,
Obviously,
that's why he
Chuck went
died.
into
I was
the storm.
wondering
It's
about
not going
that.
to be the position that you want to be in for Muzz. But Sphinx here, you can see the electricity,
Oh, he
meaning
didn't
that he
have
is
enough
going to be
goals.
taking that storm sickness. And
I saw it, I
unfortunately,
just
that
didn't see
was
it from
going to
his
be the
perspective.
difference maker for that victory royale.
Yeah, that overdrive grenade might have been
Well,
the
by 9
actual
points.
difference maker there, right? If Muzz was actually in a position to go ahead and stop.
Okay,
some
Clix
of
and
that
Higgs
heal
gotta
off when
lock
visuals
in with
and
eliminations
could have,
now.
You know,
It's
helped
still
Sphinx
not
kind of
like
push
bad.
that one up. But hey, first game of Grands, a little bit of jitters. Would not be surprised. Taking a
Oh,
look
Venno.
at the
I was
leaderboard
like, I
here,
think
though, our
Venno went
top 10,
down
kind of what we
early.
expected, right? Cold and Rapid find themselves in 6th place right there. Didn't really see too many like highlights from them, but obviously made it into the end game, you know, far enough to still be placed up pretty high.
Cold and Rapid sticking to the low ground, as we know that they love to do. But as you were saying, not necessarily the game that they probably wanted from game number 1, but still getting things warmed up right now. We do kind of expect a little bit more aggression coming out
Yo,
from them.
2
But I
clean
think
shots.
everyone was kinda just
Oh,
trying to feel out how the
that was
low
bad.
ground was
Whoever
being
was
played
that,
right
bro,
there,
that guy's
because
bad.
there was a lot of chaos going on. And
Cold,
Cold, you know,
boom.
he did what he could, and still, as a solo player, of course, he's getting elim and
Boom.
refreshes, but eventually
Peterbot.
that was
Oh,
going
he
to
did
stop,
shoot
and,
Peterbot. Let me
still,
see.
of course, he's getting elim and refreshes, but eventually...
Oh no, he just
He
turned
did what
around.
he
He
could,
didn't
and
shoot.
still, as a solo player, of course, he's getting elim and refreshes, but eventually that was going to stop, and still in
So
the top
Pollo
10
killed
right
him, I
now.
think, yeah.
Still, you know, game 1, Vivid. There's still so many more games. Zeke, you're freaking out right now. What's wrong?
Take a step back. We chill, right? But why don't we go get some more action? Why don't we go over to the casters for game number 2?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, we definitely want more action all over this. Game 1 proved to be exciting already. Clix and Higgs on the high ground. I didn't think too many teams would contest them until Peterbot and Pollo did it. Not once, not twice, but it looks like 3 times in a single end game.
They're gonna
Yeah,
destroy
they
Clix and
definitely
them.
were trying to
Like,
go for the fight, trying to secure eliminations as opposed to just building over them and kind of keying up, locking up the positioning. No, they wanted to contest anyone who was willing to go for a victory royale in that game. You got to appreciate that. One thing I did notice about Clix and Higgs is early game was that they seemed to be very well off on Surge in comparison to a lot of the other top teams we tuned in with. Now, this could be due to zone factors. It could be due to other things. We'll see, though, Jacob. They can keep it up.
Yeah, we saw a little bit from Peterbot and Pollo, a little bit from Agers and Ritual. That the
Let's
Surge
go.
plan may not have been going according to usual.
Game
But
number
game 2
2.
is here. Plenty of time to change it up, so let's jump into it.
With game 2 now to be written, once again, I continue to bring our focus on top 13, that land qualification being the most important part of this entire thing. Obviously, winning a championship is fantastic. However, continue to keep pace, playing as well as we saw some of our favorites do, is exactly what we want as we start leading our way towards Germany.
Seeing if anything kind of switches up too much here. This is one of those spots we saw was going to be possibly double contested, triple contested, but this is the thing. When FNCS does roll around, those drops only mean so much because, hey, you might have a little bit of an inkling. You might want to drop somewhere else. Maybe you play roulette to try to keep teams surprised just a little bit. G Money Magma got a whole range of space uncontested. Down low towards the south is going to be another team, and right towards the north at Dark Dominion is going to be Cold and Rapid. So even though they have space in this early game monster, it doesn't mean it's always going to stay that way.
Yeah, I saw in the feed. Really curious about what happened there with Paper. Maybe we can get a highlight from the House of Sales or something like that, but we'll catch up. A lot of fall damage happening all weekend long. We've just kind of seen it go time and time again. But G Monster Magma, you can see splitting loot across one another as well.
One guy's already low.
Now we
It
jump
looks
in
like
with
he's gonna
7 names
survive.
and Tex here, sitting above the fight that's about to go down with Noisy and his duo down low. And then you have this lurking team here to the north in the Aviv.
Towards Studios, Aviv doesn't usually travel too far away from his drop spot. Almost everything you need, from brick, metal, wood, and even a mending machine. But for Naves and Teeks, kind of in the open split drop. Got to make sure not to get pushed. Teeks looking like he was almost getting approached there for a moment. And this is kind of an interesting decision for Teeks and Naves in this split area because they don't really have a lot of extra heals. They don't have a ton of materials. And now they have to go elsewhere. But you can see how contested the surrounding land it actually is. This one is
Sorry, I'm
not
just
going to be
eating
easy
sweets, so
early game
I'm not really
for Teeks
commenting
and
a
his
lot.
duo.
Okay, we got like Vino. Oh, Veno.
Positive damage though. That's all you
And
can really
Cove.
hope for. Meanwhile, back to Irvin. Veno, as we know, they take the north side of the boulevard. Then you have the Sanctuary having a full-on fight. As we jump in, it ends. Void, Zifta there. Finish this one up pretty quickly. They have attracted a couple other duos here to the sounds of the battle, but they're not near close enough to go ahead and jump in.
Let me see
and have
Veno.
any
Not
influence.
Veno.
So nice little 8-point
I want to see
swing
more
here
of
for
Zen,
Voids
man.
and Zifta.
I think Clix
Right now.
killed
Around
Zen.
12 teams, Monster, just land on that bottom right quadrant of the map. Basically from the east side of Battlewood to around the north side of the new Sanctuary, and that's over 10%.
In order to win FNCF,
close to 20.
you gotta
So see
win
how
games
stacked
as well.
that edge of the zone actually is. What makes
So
it
Clix and
hard
Higgs needs to
rotate
focus on
into the
winning
north,
one
like
game.
You actually see it kind of shifting the zone, forcing everybody towards the top side of the map. Chance and Tyler, they went ahead and left their contested drop early on,
Beautiful.
maybe getting some loot just to get what they're missing in their loadout. It's kind of a necessary evil when you're going ahead and triple contesting the south side of Battlewood Boulevard.
Back on over to Peterbot. Boyo here. Scribbly Shores all to themselves. Not a soul in sight either. Just look at that map. No one looking to come close to their territory right now. Last game though, Boyo continuing to just keep that tension on the rest of the lobby. We've seen him, for whatever reason or another, really shine in the heats, and now shining to start things off here for the game 1, the grand finals. But one thing's for certain, Peterbot, Boyo, you start to take away a big lead on them, they're gonna make sure they influence the lobby to try to fight back as they want to play for that championship.
Yeah, one of the few teams I feel like that can single-handedly close the gap with the eliminations. We're probably waiting until their back is up against the wall. Those there in Isho, a familiar fight here. North side of the map with the changes from Treetop Terrace going out and this spot kind of replacing it. Most of the loot is a little bit more focused towards the north side, which kind of causes a little bit more contested fights rather than splitting it. So for Dozer and Ishu, they've been landing here almost all season long, even throughout the changes. It'd be crazy to think they would leave anytime soon, especially with finals here. So for Raiden, CDZ, they're having a pretty good run from the play-ins to the heats till here. They just need to keep that momentum on their side against a team like Dozer and Ishu, who have also been playing pretty consistent in Division Cups and so on.
Dozer and Ishu are experienced as well, so Raven and CDZ just have to take note, learn from their previous games, but with this Venno curve lurking on Electro and Oak. Electro and Oak seem to feel like something is up, though. They're fully based down. They might have heard or caught some visual cues here, hence the waiting. Venno and Curve won't be able to stay here much longer. They will have to start healing here soon. In the feed, I do think CDZ found elimination, so we'll have to catch that update here in a second. What do you think's happening here?
Oh, this takes a lot of patience from Venno and Curve. They're camping the mending machine right there. They're hoping that they kind of lost Electro and Ult. Yep, just like this. They peek through. They try to access the mending machine. First shot's going to be fired, which is an important amount of damage. You said it yourself. Curve and Venno have not healed just yet. Full shield, but it's the HP that is drastic here. Curve using the splashes by himself. Not sure what Venno has on the other side, but they're keeping pressure onto Ult, not letting him try and heal up. And even though Venno just took a second there to heal up, it's that second of difference that allowed for Curve to get pushed off of his current position, take some damage, and almost reset the fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was definitely limited on heals, so they have to get those pieces there, but this fight's not going to end here now. Venno, Curve already have a little bit of a damage advantage in the exchange, but they were trying to hope to secure those elims. This is that fight with CDZ and Raven, so what they learned from the last game is we got to finish this one up quickly. Once we attack, we got to finish the job, and it looks like CDZ and Raven do just that. And that's going to be their first big 8 points earned here in the finals. They can say they've done more than some as far as the finals appearance goes. And
that gets an elimination.
Meanwhile, Venno and Curve pushing aggressively to finish the battle like we knew they would. They do come out successful.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it for CDZ and Raven. I think in a good way, they've been the biggest refresh and the biggest surprise to competitive this season. And honestly, I hope they continue to show off and show out as one of the new teams. We always talk about the new guard. Well, this is a crucial chance here because we could see a first-time finalist qualify to the Summit LAN. I think it said something about like 78 players are trying to qualify for their first LAN. And if the math just checks out, right, Monster? There are 13 spots up for grabs. That means 26 players will go to the Summit LAN. And if 78 players are trying to go to the first, that means roughly 2 to 4 players, no matter what happens here, will qualify for their first LAN in Fortnite. Exciting times.
Yep, the possibility is definitely there. I think 13 spots is very generous. Very generous. You know, most finals lobbies, when you look at the overall leaderboards, you know, you think like, oh, okay, you can drop a game or two each day and still be up towards the top 10. So that amount of grace and consistency, for sure, a new team can just have their moment here this weekend.
I need to speak up because I can't just watch.
It happens every year. We'll just see if it's going to be Raven and CDZ this time around. Threats and Veer, though, making do with their
that's very rough to play like in stone.
Pretty well last game. They were, of course, making it just past that mid game now. Early game looking relatively decent for Muzz and Sphinx. Great end game showing from their side. Obviously a second place, nothing to scoff at. But one thing's for certain, catching storm sickness is one sad way to go out at the end.
They're one of the teams that they did deal a good amount of damage overall throughout the course. Muzz in game one had the most damage dealt out of every individual player in the game. Just goes to show that they're really just kind of building that storm surge cushion. No matter if they're positioned high up on a mountain, not far away from their drop, or here where you'd think it's kind of disadvantageous to box up next to one of those mountains, they are very, very calculated about how they approach each and every one of these zones, whether if it max pulls far away, or kind of goes and turns in their favor. They're ready for whatever comes their way. And this could be another team that's a very, very similar case, especially to start the year. We had Rapid. No matter who he teamed with, it seemed like he could not be stopped. Even in the solo finals competition, Rapid was at the top of the leaderboard. And Monster, let me tell you, when Rapid was reading zones like he knew where it was going to go 100%, he was almost never wrong. And now you bring that to duos when you have Cold by your side. So if you have somebody that can lead the charge, open up opportunities for someone like Cold, cold, this could be another one of our big contenders this weekend.
Yeah, Rapid and Cold now on teams Twisted Minds. You know, looking back to Globals, I remember the last organization that he was on, you know, the leadership over there was telling me, like, Monster, keep an eye out on this guy. I'm telling you, Rapid is next up. And look, he's only continued to do better and bigger things now leading into this first major. You know, it doesn't get any bigger than working with one of the best on the region. Visuals and Braids, though, talk about a way to start their tournament run off. You know, this is not a new guard team. This is an experienced duo here that has been playing side by side for
Braids.
2 years now, it looks like.
They're just pulling
really nice to
away
see them start this
when
off
the
so
fight
strong.
just started. Aviv.
And rightfully so, because you not only throughout the heats, but the last chance qualifier, that high ground.
It's the last
especially in
time
the
to
winter
shoot
in
at the
type
teammates
format, was
when they're
so
getting pushed.
contested with so many teams, so it's almost like great heads up play for Visual.
Oh,
The
no.
Braid said, you guys want high ground, you guys can fight for it. We'll control the low ground here. And while everybody was fighting for high grounds, teams that gave it up, they went down low and were in shambles. Visuals and Braids, cool as a cucumber. They
Always
made
cover
sure
your back.
to make that game one count. And like you said, you can slip up on a few games, but it really plays an impact on how you get to play day number 2, whether you're having to go full
It's just a
aggressive to
elo
catch
for
up on
now.
the points, or just getting
People just trying to
business
survive.
as usual if you're on the top of the leaderboard.
So it's the
In a bit
Storm
of a
Surge,
skirmish
sorry.
against Listen there in his duo, but we have to back off, being a little bit more passive. Don't want to get caught too long in the storm here now.
FNO
See
Listen.
Aloe and Listen. Not too sure if the opponent's
we got
actually backed
Cooper
out of
and
the fight just
Peace.
yet, so keeping that defensive stance. Then you have Reet and Cooper on the other side. Much
They're
different
probably
scenario here,
waiting.
no one in sight, opting to kind of live in the storm now
Okay,
before
just
just super
break that.
padding out here.
And yield, I guess.
Like when you say that, a super
Okay,
pad,
nice.
just super pad. If you guys don't know, if
Get
you guys
that.
are tuning in, maybe you missed play-ins, heats, and the last chance qualifier. There are 2 launch pads at the north side of the map, this being one of them. On its own, Monster, it takes you higher and farther than regular launch pads. Now you combine that with the fizz, now you combine that with the shock grenade, you see how high you actually go. In some cases, you're out of render distance. Teams literally can't even see you to get those shots, and you're going to show in game number 1, they kind of rotated in early. They used that launch pad, they went towards the south. This time around, they're taking a slower approach, knowing that there's different mountain ranges and edges that they can access.
Yeah, and they only earned 6 points in game 1, so they have a lot of space to make up for. You looked at anyone's kind of lobby list of who's going to perform up towards the top. Reet is surely in
they're
that
splitting up.
conversation.
Oh, no.
He's done it before. He did it last year.
They didn't go as far.
Pick up the pace now from Major
Oh,
1.
they're getting pushed.
Now, of the few games you can kind of dud
In
out,
Storm,
having
bro.
one down after game 1 is a little
Okay.
rough.
Vino and
It's
them
not
are
over just yet.
going for elimination. Okay.
Already 2 elims.
They're
Now,
just
once
camping.
again, going from machine to machine now, just trying to stick to that same strategy. I mean, this is true and trusty, right? Look, you have G Monster Magma here who's about to start med kitting. They're actually exposed.
Oh, just a quick peek. Veno and Curve. This time
Oh,
around, you saw
one
they
down.
kind of made a play similar to this in that last game. They made sure to heal up first, but now they have quick access to the mending machine. The patchups are in with Magma down. G-Money looks like he's going for a revive, but he might end up in that same situation. But luckily, Curve goes up and over, forces him down into the hand of Veno, where they're able to
Magma's
clean up that
out.
elimination. They fell asleep for just a second too long, and Curve and Veno strike, get the elimination, and build that cushion.
Are they
for
gonna
Storm
make
Surge,
it,
almost
though?
700 above that threshold.
They're just playing so good right now. I'd probably bet that they're the furthest ahead when it comes to overall Surge right now. And their execution just couldn't be better on those 2 ambushes that they set up. Veno playing as
Swings
great as
and
ever.
Maz needs to be
Obviously,
stopped.
coming from EU to NA, you have a lot to prove. A huge investment in yourself,
Poyo
right,
and
to come on over and
if
do the
people
thing
just
here
push
on the
Poyo
region.
and Peterbot now.
And then doing it with someone like Curve, who hasn't really had that much of a chance to show how good of a player he could be, right? We've seen him play with the folks like Re and a few other top tiers, but Veno, I would say, is definitely amongst the most elite
Okay,
of
so
his duo
Bolts and
options so
them have
far.
high ground, Clix and them have at the
Everybody's quite
bottom. I
pleasantly
saw there.
surprised. Want to give a huge shout out to Mom and Pop Curve, really believing in their son and just allowing him to follow this dream of not only just playing and competing in Fortnite, but a chance to be one of the best players in Fortnite. They get to travel the world if they're able to qualify here inside of the top 13. When we talk about history being on one team side, Acorn has that Major 1 history. I think you called it the Major 1 magic. I like that. So if Acorn can pull it off here, definitely would be a magician. 38 points in game number 1. So already a slow start for them, but you can see with the zone pulling on over toward the north side of the map, almost 300 above the damage threshold. They're just taking it one step at a time.
They're looking good. Love the positioning here on the bottom edge of that mountain. They should have no resistance from any other team. And then they go with the full metal base, so that's just showing us they're not looking to move anytime soon. Jumping on over to Clix Higgs. Ager's Ritual side to side here.
Ooh,
Clix
damage
and
avoid
Higgs
elimination.
have a little thorn in their hip, but
Oh, they're above. They're
right
above.
now
They're above.
just fishing for opportunity. Nothing available
Muzz.
just yet.
Okay, no.
Muzz Sphinx is going to be the first that they put a little attack onto, but Clix unfortunately misses those shots. And look at this. This is not actually looking too good for Muzz and Sphinx. They're just barely holding on right now.
Yeah, blessing for them to kind of make that quick rotation onto a slower side of the zone, kind of allow them to peek and get a wide variety of options here.
They're above
Curse
already.
is going to be everybody's fully boxed up already in both brick and metal, so it's going to be hard to spray your way through. But they're 142 above that damage threshold. And they're not
Clix
a
and
team
X
that
is...
goes
Yeah.
in desperation mode just because they're below the damage
I think Clix and X
threshold.
are...
That's a huge
And
focal point
Peterbot
for
and
the
they're just going for eliminations. And
They're just getting sprayed at from multiple teams.
Ooh.
They're forced to reposition, having to go lower and lower onto that low ground as they
Ooh,
reunite.
that's getting-
Spray is not
oh.
slowing down or stopping just yet. Poyo is barely surviving. Less than 50 HP left, and it's
Oh,
not
no, they
slowing down anytime soon.
Peterbot is
They're
good at
burning
building,
through
though.
their materials. Less than 10 left on Peterbot. He's still trying to scramble around, but
Oh,
not really
no.
finding an open opportunity here to get back into this game.
Very smart scramble, though. Going back to all that invested metal. Trying to find himself a little bit of a safety spot
Oh,
amongst
no.
the chaos.
Storm's
And that
gonna get
was all
them.
because the teams in his general area needed damage. So they unfortunately found themselves positioned next to all these opponents that needed a ton of damage. They get shot
Oh.
up by the entire lobby. And
Oh,
now they have to
Peterbot
find
is
damage
down.
himself. Peterbot at least gets an elimination there. So it's not a zero-sum game, but they are still so far below. Boyo has to go into the box. We've seen him do the
Oh, no.
impossible before. He gets another set of points.
Storm,
but
though.
how much more can he
Storm.
realistically do here?
Yeah,
Storm.
I'm not really feeling too worried though. We saw what Poyo can do in the heats just to get to this stage, but
Cold,
you gotta be
getting
careful. Chance
eliminations
does go
after-
down,
yeah.
Cold and rapid, just terrorizing those floors, dropping him into the box. And
Peterbot.
you're kind of see the shakeup that this lobby
Poyo.
has right before our very eyes.
Poyo
And
is a
this is where
solo,
we're going
so-
into
oh,
these
this-
next couple zones, Monster. If we go towards
Clix
the
and X
north,
needs
the
to survive,
northwest, or
bro.
even towards the northeast, you better buckle in because we're
They
going to
need
be
to
in for a
survive, bro.
roller coaster of emotions. Yes, if we go south, we go down a mountain, but it eases up the pressure from a lot of what these players are facing, and we go towards the northeast. Poyo, I hope you're ready for this ride.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Now, he does still have a couple shockwaves, but with Acorn here to the side, I mean, these are dangerous teams on high ground. Clix and Higgs already looking out in the distance as well here. Boyo has found himself in so many solo situations this weekend, and he has just performed time in and time out. Feel like we're asking so much of him to keep their team on the standings right now, but hey, he is nearing a top 20. Clix Higgs have that natural elevation to play with as well, and they are just in the best position right now that we have seen so far as making it into another top positioning endgame here.
And you see Higgs Clix back-to-back games going for that high ground early, and you see they're focusing not only on the players kind of rotating around, but the ones that are in that fizz mist. Those are the threats to that high ground, the second height. They keep putting down that focus. Muzz and Sphinx might be one of those teams as well. They're not dropping down unless they have to. You see Poyo trying to shockwave off, probably only has one shockwave left in his inventory. You can see only down to 6 builds, and this is where it becomes just a nightmare of a situation for Poyo, but he gets a little bit of a blessing.
Whoa.
The mist is there. Sphinx dropping down along with Muzz, trying to control their own destiny as well.
That was crazy. A little mist here to kind of support him, and he's trying to find out, hey, where was that throne? Who can I jump on? Who needs these heals right now? Unfortunately, he doesn't quite find the opportunity there, but just 4 builds. 1 shockwave, so this shock has to be played almost offensively now. Can he get into a situation for a refresher here? Of course he can. Finds a player there, but doesn't quite find the follow-up. This player's jumping all around him. There goes a missed tag. He's got nothing there, and into the hands of another duo. That opponent
Dead.
goes, so no refresh for
Okay,
him. Down he
Poyo is
falls
down.
in the top
Clix and X,
18.
this is your chance now to
the
get
wide
in
view,
there.
you have Clix and Higgs on high ground. ground.
Cold.
Acorn Bolts
Oh no,
sizing
Cold
up
went
the
into
second
the storm.
layer. Cold and Rapid, front side of the low ground, just playing for an ultimate end.
Oh, Spinks and Maz out. Okay, they're out.
But Muzz gets in the box, ends up with 1 elimination, but Wager sends him right back to the lobby. And this goes to show from second place there in the first game, kind of going down relatively early here. Cold, along with Rapid, they're controlling one side. You see Venom and Curve controlling the other, but this is where it continues to become a nightmare. We're going down into the divot off the side of that mountain. For Clix and Higgs, they have the biggest advantage, control over the high ground, but Osid, Scare, they're there. Agers and Ritual, they're there as well.
The problem with this is you have to use material in order to, maintain your positioning right now. This is the type of endgame you cannot practice for. Agers, Ritual, also starting to fizzle out now. You can see as they're starting to lower themselves gently down the layers here, looking for opportunity into a box. They're trying to send themselves, but no, the defense was good from the opponents there. Higgs, meanwhile, on the other side, loses a lot of shield here, forced to miss up, and Clix as well. Very desperate situation for Height now. Acorn and Bolts finally attack, and it's theirs to secure.
Wow, Clix and Higgs read the curve, and Veno play from a mile away. They get the elims, they get the knocks, but in comes Acorn and Bolts while they're distracted. Clix and Higgs said, nah, you're not going to get it for free. Clix is literally putting it all on the line. He said this is his FNCS to win if he's going to get it, and he takes down Bolts, leaving Acorn as a solo, but there's still 3 more threats in the mix. Scare,
come on, Clix, come on.
Agers and Ritual, they're still alive.
Come on,
Clix
Clix.
is still focused on the Acorn.
That was disgusting. Clix goes up, Higgs breaks the foundation, and then they actually take that team down, and now it's their high ground all over again as it bounces back over their original investment here. Now, they haven't picked up a refresher, but they surely have control of the skies right now. Agers and Rituals haven't quite had a time to do anything with the high ground, but they are running things on the low ground. 8 eliminations for them now, but look at the POV here from Clix and Higgs. It is looking like a breeze fest here to the end game. If they can just pressure these
nice, he's low. Let's go. Come on, Clix and
Higgs.
Higgs.
This is definitely theirs. They're going up the side of the mountain. Another knock on the Ritual. Cooper falls. Agers alive, and Taki's making a mad dash trying to get inside of the zone. But he falls all the
Let's go.
Let's
go, Clix and Higgs. Let's go. Let's go, man.
Feels like back-to-back performances for them right now. You saw the game 1. They are showing us how it is they want to play the grand finals this weekend, and that's height or nothing. Game 2, though, Zeke, is now wraps.
This is what I was waiting for in finals. The fight for height. Clix and Higgs. Kelly, I can't believe it. In 8th zone, they were at it again. They're like, hey, remember our plan from game 1? We're doing that again, but this time no one will take height from us. And now we get a game 2 victory royale.
If you have been watching any of the scrims since Heats, you would probably be a little less surprised to see Clix and Higgs acting this way. This is something that they have prepared for, that they have studied, and you can see through the evolution of literally just over the last 2 weeks, the little adjustments that they're making in controlling height. And this is honestly a masterclass of those changes that we've seen, where they had height potentially stolen away from.
Let's see if Clix is streaming. What does K-Dog say? What does K-Dog say?
Sometimes we feel guilty. We can only do so much.
Let's see what is it?
Cinema, man, cinema.
Saving up all those materials.
What did you miss? You missed Clix winning that game right there.
Almost nothing about that game makes sense. Like
Clix won game number 2.
Like we were watching them, right? They're building up height from 8th zone. It's like, okay, you need.
This from about 4 points per kill. I'm worried about Clix and Higgs fragging ability. Yeah, that's why a lot of people believe in Agers and Ritual, because Agers and Ritual,
game with 4 eliminations.
like,
I honestly thought
Clix and Higgs have a higher chance of dudding based on them just cycling height,
traverse.
Than Agers and Ritual, since they play mid ground, and Agers and Ritual also just get more kills on mid ground too.
It usually takes a little bit more builds to build over something like that. So
Peter's, I'm not gonna lie, that was a bad last game, but I think they'll be fine.
Teams amongst.
Okay, let's go back. I just wanted to see
an incredible amount of chaos of people just flying above them, and somehow, when the dust settled, they were the ones that ended up on the higher ground. But they also made it work from 8th zone with only 4 eliminations. You gotta imagine, like, how do they do that? first 2 games, Clix and Higgs, they fended off the fight for height. They look good.
Man, and I just don't even know, Viv, how they're just in the air for so long.
Right? It's
like, dude, they're even getting hit, and it's like, it's just not enough, right? It's just not enough. They land on builds. They're like, everything's fine. We're back to full HP. Don't even worry about it. Clix and Higgs looking so good. That was game number 2. We're going to a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the lobby list and start preparing for the chaos that will be game 3. We'll see you in just a minute.
Come on, Clix and Higgs. I'm just worried that, like, I'm worried that what's his name is gonna drop on Clix, man. Peterbot or anyone is gonna ruin that strat, man. Because after the first game, you realize, okay, they're taking a height. Okay, we should probably do it the same. But what people don't realize is you can't just change your game plan, like, because it changes a lot. If you immediately, all of a sudden decide, okay, I'm gonna play height, and you didn't practice that, yeah, good luck with that. So it's kind of like it will require people to think and come up with a new game plan. So it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone to kind of win this game. Boom. Boom. Come on, is this gonna be the first time Clix and Higgs are gonna clutch up and win FNCS? Okay, he has 40 health. Oh, it looks like 40, okay. Just before he gets like to the end, boom. Yo, dude, 1 HP. 1 HP, bro, that's crazy.
And I don't know how to feel about it.
You're not used to losing. Getting beaten?
Not like this. These players are just so locked in.
Could it be the milk?
Mm-hmm.
Stay there.
Okay, time to lock in to see the leaderboard. Okay, with I did not expect Clix and Higgs to win that game, but yeah.
Welcome back, Fortnite fam, to Major 1 FNCS Finals in day number 1. Game number 2. Clix fans, rise up! Our time is now. They get themselves a victory royale in game number 2. Kelly, they went ahead and put the whole lobby on notice. We're here to play. We are here for high ground and high ground only. But there was more that happened in that game, right, Kelly? A bunch of things as we get ready to look at the lobby list. You'd think Clix and Higgs would be in first place, because I would think that, right? Like, oh yeah, they got a victory royale, but that's not the case, is it, Kelly?
Wow.
No, it's not, because Agers and Ritual are up on top, and there is a big number that could indicate as to why, and that is their elimination.
It's the
number,
elimination.
Right? They're currently leading the lobby with 13 eliminations.
Yo, dude, Agers and Ritual is just gonna.
Actually quite high, and of course
they are the best in terms of killing people. They just chilled at the bottom. Oh no, actually no.
In their Div Cup finals over Peter and Poyo. Agers and Ritual understand what a win condition means, and I don't mean a victory royale condition. I'm talking about the whole tournament. They know exactly what they need to do with it, and they're showing it in our first 2 games.
Zeke completely destroyed Kelly's train of thought right there. That was awesome. Anyway, 10 eliminations for the duo just there in game number 2, as you can see it.
But
7 on Agers, 3 on Ritual, and this is exactly what me and Kelly were kind of
This is
talking
not
about,
really
that Elim
fair
heavy
though, because if we
refresh
play to
style of
win,
gameplay where they try to make it work from the mid ground. Gotta give a big shout out though. You want to talk about fighting in the early game? Venno and Curry, we've kind of talked about how, you know, their drop spot, the situation over there, it's been a little bit weird. They've been kind of having to switch plans, but to me, it doesn't look like they switched plans at all, because to get their Storm Surge, they've basically been taking a couple of 2v2 fights in the early game, even sometimes in the Storm itself.
Yeah.
And it's just been working out. You would imagine if you're taking 2v2 fights, you know, the way the Storm Surge works now, it's a damage ratio. So they're taking these 2v2 fights, and they're just not really taking damage in them. How cleanly are they winning those fights?
I mean, if we're taking a look at this height still right now, it definitely was not too clean when you're kind of a little focused on a certain player and everyone else is looking up at you saying, oh, hey, he's just in the air, I'm going to take a few shots. It definitely makes it a little bit harder for you to defend yourself. But you talking about them fighting in Storm, I love that play we got to see from them fighting next to the mending machine, which actually allowed them to fight even longer in Storm and eventually get one of those eliminations. And they're, again, it's, you know, Venno, he's so smart when he plays, and to see them kind of handling this this change to their drop spot situation and still being able to come out on top, I love to see it.
Yeah, as we bring up those standings, the reason we wanted to highlight them is we just talked about these 13 elims, and remember, we're getting one more point per elim, right? First place, Aegis Ritual, 13 elims. But as we look at Curve and Venno, they already have 12, right? So we're just missing a handful of like consistency points, and then suddenly we're starting to run up that leaderboard. Cold and Rapid though, again, I feel like, Kelly, we have so much star power, right? We can look at any duo and just be like, yo, they're going crazy, and we probably would be right. But now we're kind of starting to pick up, right? We kind of talked about in that first game, maybe a little slower, a little like subdued. And even now it's a very similar place, right? 7th place, 4th, 8th place, 5 elims. I'm kind of waiting, you know, Kelly, I'm kind of waiting for that ice cold game out of Cold.
I think how they play in tournaments is similar to kind of how they play in the end game. They kind of like to play in the mid ground. They love to play for refreshes. And if they need to go for kind of a heavy elim, they'll lock in and they'll go on the low ground. And then that's where we really see them tear. But for me, Cold and Rapid, it's less about how consistent they are and more about these insane pop-off games, Vivid, that we know that both of them individually and as a duo can pull out.
Yeah, so it'd be scary stuff for the leaderboard when we do see one of those games. Got to give a big shout out to Acorn and Bolts. I feel like that game is rough because we saw a little bit of life of them in that game where they actually attempted to go for high ground right there. So it'll be interesting to see over the course of the next 10 games if they're going to kind of continue with that plan. Although I do want to kind of talk about how this whole like lobby and how the kind of lobby plays out. Clix and Higgs, I feel like they fended off Peterbot in game number 1. I feel like they fended off a lot of teams there in game number 2. You got to imagine at some point, Zeke, these teams are kind of get tired of going up for the Clix and Higgs.
They kind of depth, bro.
Them at that fight, and eventually it might end up where Clix and Higgs just have high ground for free.
Yes.
That's something to think about.
Yeah, man. Like you're pointing out, the amount of players that have gone up to fight for it. Like, I think in any other circumstance we've seen that, it's like that team usually just like, okay, hey, my bad, like you guys can have it. But Clix and Higgs, they are holding on, Kelly. It's
the
looking
thing is,
nice.
if you didn't practice, you can't just switch your gameplay.
That's right, Fortnite fam, it's game time. Buckle up. Game number 3 starts now.
Thank you. And yeah, just like that, we're approaching game 3 already. Finals days tend to go pretty quickly, but one thing's for certain, Jacob, it's too early to call anything just yet.
Yeah, I'm already kind of getting my wish. I said I just want game 12 to matter when it's all said and done. Already a 1-point difference, proving that history lesson we gave might come true. And this is going to be an exciting time to kind of see it. Will Clix and Higgs continue to play for the high ground? Aegis and Ritual, will they wake up? Or Peterbot and Pollo? Teams right now are poking the bear. We know what type of team they could turn into day 2.
Yeah, one thing's underrated is those elimination points are starting to rack up. You're earning more for your value here when you get eliminations. Of seeing someone like Aegis and Rituals up at the top just because they managed to pop off in that last game. They definitely are being rewarded there on the standings. But one thing's for certain, Peterbot and Pollo don't usually get lobbied like that. So we'll see what they're going to change up here for game number 3.
That's gonna be tough.
Consistency coming out of Clix and Higgs so far throughout 2 games. Aegis and Ritual as well. Their first place on the leaderboard. Already locking down a 2nd and a 13th with 13 total eliminations. Gotta like what Curve and Veno are doing as well. Just kind of keeping it close, and that's going to be the interesting thing of how the day ends today. Really has control of how you get to play tomorrow.
You know, one thing about Fortnite is there is a little bit of luck involved. You know, when you went back and saw the highlights, I actually can't believe Higgs survived the way he did. That should have been Veno and Curve's game right there. I'm just going to say that for the record, as Paper and Rezi are getting active right now at their drop here, Jacob. Not to distract us too much, but yeah, that highlight really showed us how lucky Clix and Higgs were there.
Yeah. Back to this fight, though. You know, Paper, that was almost a must-win as Tyler and Chance taking down Electro and Ulk early on the south side of Battlewood Boulevard. Actually, elimination probably spitting it. Does look like Toronto somewhere else on the map kind of stole that one away. So they're only going to get the one elimination, 4 points, but they are going to get most of that loot out of the elimination. That's Toronto and Slips. Further down south outside of Battlewood, kind of split the drop down there towards the bottom. Just kind of take those little opportunities while you can. That's kind of the name of the game.
Nice little Elam for them, given that they're playing the coastal line. Back on over to the Pink Palms here. Blanks and Mako, again, managed to find a nice little victory there coming out of their Heats category. Team to their north, though, again, you're going to find a lot of duos trying to hold down the vending machines at the POIs. They're basically death traps. You got to be super careful when approaching those areas.
Leave.
Raven CDZ coming off a hot little victory of an early game battle for themselves, but wasn't able to convert anything else after that game too.
Almost feels like for them, they've been almost 3 different drops throughout the 3 games that we've seen so far.
That's gonna be a fight.
Top side of the map, we saw them take on Dozier, Ishu, go against Chris and Drew, and now against Threats and Beer. Just trying to find their spot on a map like this is not going to be the easiest thing, especially a team like Threats and Beer who just want to rid everyone out of their POI. It's a legendary POI, so you can see exactly why they're fighting. More loot, more gold, more opportunity if they're able to get it to themselves. As they quickly go through at least 1 box of pizza. While Threats heals, Veer is kind of putting the pressure down so that way they can't easily turn and burn to try to take down Threats in a 2v1.
See what Raven and CDZs can take away from this finals as a whole. Because they're starting to notice, I think, that you can't just be too flexible on the lobby. You will encounter incredibly talented players everywhere you go. And even now, one might argue that this is an even better team in Threats and Veer. Monster shot for him there to finish up with the assistance of a team and the Rip Tides there, and just like that, he gets sent back to the lobby.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that was HQ and Encrypted from their lighthouse just west of Squibbly. For them, it's not even necessarily about the elimination. For HQ Encrypted, it's just the early game Storm Surge. You can kind of see cut halfway through Battlewood Boulevard, the zone is already pushing teams towards the north side of the map. And that gives a little bit of a cushion here for Veno and Curve to do these lurk plays just like this. We saw it in the last game. We're going to see it here again. Curve probably trying to distract Tyler and Chance from the distance, saying, hey, they're nowhere to be found on this side, and that gives Veno a little bit of a lurk opportunity.
I always keep eyes on what Veno's up to. It's one of the most decorated players, one who tends to come in with an extreme amount of preparation. It's always something to learn. Always something up these elite pros sleeves, of course, for Clix and Higgs. Things are just business as usual here at the Wonky Land. You got Higgs on watch up top. Meanwhile, back to Veno. Just when you think it's safe, you never know.
This is a long investment in time right now from Veno. Up above, you got Curve lurking around, so they got basically all the important exits locked down. Veno watching the whole other side of that building, probably getting the audio visuals as well. A lot of information for him to keep to himself. And just the patience here is going to be the biggest thing. Does he try to go in and make a play by himself, especially with how far Curve actually is? You could use a shockwave to cut the distance, but anything can happen in a quick couple of seconds for Tyler and Chance. Great heads-up play for them. They probably realize what Veno and Curve do, how they play and lurk around the entire POI, whether they're contested or not. So better safe than sorry.
Yeah, and of course, they're just trying to get that critical medal, right? So Veno recognizes this. He knows an opportunity is just moments away. Boyo Peterbot on the other side. just trying to get their metal in order as well, preparing for the mid game.
Peterbot.
Peterbot eyeing up a team in the distance. Gonna be Muzzin Sphinx right now. Couple tags come out.
Resisted.
Those are tags that Peterbot will just not miss.
Yeah, a little bit of a different game this time around. Does look like it's going to continue to go towards the north, over towards Wonky Land, maybe the north side of the map, Frigid Fortress. So Peterbot Pollo do have access to that rift if they do want to use it. Haven't really seen it in play too much so far on the day, but sometimes you got to save the tricks to when you do need it most. Ages of Ritual, you can see some of their early games so far throughout the first two. It was Storm Surge early because they're not contested and the surrounding land isn't as contested as it usually is. They're just going to have to hunt for that Storm Surge rather than sit in the zone.
Got a couple highlights though. This is one from Listen and Aloe's duo. Oh, they find someone fresh off the reboot. Quick finish there, and then of course they're gonna go into Collapse on the solo.
Ooh.
Just like that, they earn their first set of points here in the finals lobby. Jumping back to Paper though. Paper went from early eliminations at the drop now to fighting Bucky and Zen here. Bucky's in big danger. Zen forced to back him up right now, give him a little bit of room to work with.
Paper and Resi rotating north to end up in this position. Mending Machine is right there, so you can kind of see what their focus is. Resi doesn't have a ton of gold, so it's not really going to get much out of it. You got to hope Paper has the lion's share of that one. But they're just really trying to control this whole side of the map. But for Bucky and Zen, you see empty item slots, not a lot of builds, not a lot of heals. They're in a drastic situation. Maybe not in a spot to where they start to get desperate, but they have to start thinking what plan B is going to be.
I was going to say, remember, Peterbot and Pollo were desperate for Surge last game. Look at the adjustment in their strategy. They find a duo that seems to be somewhat isolated from the rest of the rotate, and now they're going in hyper aggressively.
Run from one team to the next.
It must be nice.
A lot of teams on the north side of the map, for some reason, making their way down south. You can see the drop is there. Almost a little bit more of a reward outside of the elimination. But Pollo lands the first big shot to try to break things up. Peterbot is going ahead and putting pressure, cleaning up that elimination, easing up that Storm Surge pressure here. You called it out. Last game wasn't the best game for them in terms of Storm Surge. In fact, it was almost the reason why they went down early, got lobby focused. Now with that elimination there, they're going to be able to claim that drop to themselves and maybe even move back to their POI.
Yeah, and the speed of which they can finish a fight is definitely the difference maker from them to a more average pro team. Jumping in with Cold and Rapid here. We got a little update with the situation. Talk about that mythic shotgun in hand. It's definitely power loadout here. Ooh, Cold with the quick two-piece right there. That's a plus 50 for them.
Who's counting up on the Surge for them? 110 points so far throughout 2 games. Cold and Rapid in 4th place, but just like the first and second place point differential, you got Visuals and Braids right underneath at 109. They won our first game of the day, really setting the tone and the pace that everybody has to follow up on. But it's definitely not going to be easy. Wagers and Slepsy rotating on over towards Riptide. They used to land here, but didn't want to end up in a disadvantaged fight, so they went ahead and went elsewhere as Flex goes down, leaving Light by himself. Plenty of heals in the Chug Jug and the Splashes to get up 200 effective shield and HP. Nut has the same comfortability with the Slapperoni Pizza on the other side, but it's a 1v1 with the zone pulling further and further away. Even if they win this fight, they got to find the time to get the reboot.
Yeah. Finding reboot's always difficult as well. It just attracts so much attention to you. And look at this. Talk about attention being drawn. There's a team moving in hot from the west side already now. Light and Flex are on a timer. I mean, obviously we know Light's by himself. He's got to wrap this one up or Nut's got to fight back, but they can't. It'll be the end for both of them. It's actually Penta and Power who are lurking up and in now.
Okay, I
Take
can.
advantage though of Light. In terms of the solo players, he does
Why
have
are
a lot
they
of the HP
playing like
heals,
that?
Power and Penta,
Boom, boom.
crouching,
Okay,
hiding,
that was
but they
clean.
get a big Elim onto Light. A worthwhile Elim. Look at Power's inventory before and after. Now they're getting a bunch of materials, a bunch of extra heals, the splashes, and the chug jug. Even though they don't necessarily stacked out in terms of shockwaves, they came for what they wanted and they got it. And now they're just continuing on with the rest of their game. Hopefully they can find a safe spot in zone so this is actually worth it.
I'm just laughing. I'm thinking, like, put myself in Nuts' position where he's like, oh my gosh, and he just stops moving. He's got his pizza out. He's like, bruh, please. And then they leave. So he gets really lucky. Bailed out the desperate spot there. And you know he's got the reboot card, so they will get to continue their tournament life here. Acorn and Bolts, completely different situation here. Much more chill scenario on hand. Pretty much just camping the launch pads right now with the zone on top of them. So nothing to worry about right now.
This looks to get a little spooky.
Oh,
yeah, this is where they actually kind of land for the most part. They have the slurp trucks that's there, the mending machine, and we saw Peterbot farm up a lot of his metal. Quick moment there where you said it yourself, looking dangerous with Curve and Veno rotating nearby. We saw the sheer amount of lurks throughout the first 2 games so far, using the mending machines as a distraction for teams, and that's how they picked up not only damage but eliminations. Probably seeing how far the zone is actually pulling towards the north, so instead of waiting, they probably realized they already have some good surge eliminations early, so they're trying to beat every other team to the punch.
Yeah, I'm just thinking they got spider senses like Curve and Veno reading the situation like, nah, maybe not this team. Let's just go to this storm. It's going to be the best decision they make in this game, that's for sure. A clash for Peterbot and Boyo when there's 700 above the surge is not the type of Peterbot and Boyo you want to fight right now. Not in this game, not in this lobby. Love that we got to see a little glimpse of Osid and Scare's position there. That sleeper duo that has been creeping up the standings bit by bit. Mako and Blanks, though, quite the rotate for them to make here. Carillion, meanwhile,
nice.
Nice little knock out the sky there. Someone's fired up.
I'm always a what have you done for me lately type of guy, and honestly, in the short span that Jargu and Carillion have played together, Monster, they have won 3 games in set lobbies through their heat or through the last chance qualifier and the eval finals. So even though right now they're sitting on 40 points, I wouldn't necessarily be too worried. This team can pull out some insane moments and victories. Just unfortunate they are contested at the far eastern side of the map, going against Sniper Dude and Avenger. So not every game is going to be guaranteed. Just goes to show Carillion taking advantage of those little opportunities while you can. Peterbot and Poyo, they did clean up a few eliminations here. We saw one early, one in the feed.
No,
you can see they're rotating away from Tyler and Chance. Already up towards the zone, but they're going to where they think it is going to open up and give them a little bit more cushion in terms of spacing.
Nice little find right there to get the chug barrels. But I did want to say, you know, 40 points is still in the race. Like, remember, the real winners are who's going to land, who's in top 13 when this is all said and done. So if you're 40 points, you're 60 points like Cooper and Ree. I mean, you're in the conversation right now. Your shoes are tied, you know, you're on the track here. You got to respect it so far. But again, this is only game 3, right? We're about halfway through day 1.
Sure. Okay.
Quarter of the game's already completed. You can kind of see Cooper, Reed trying to see if
Okay,
anybody
teams are
else is
moving
gonna make
in
a
now,
late
so
rotation off the side of that mountain. They're ready and waiting for it to happen. QK and Khan 57 below the damage threshold. Right now it is going to be a 2-tick, but that's going to quickly switch on over to a 5-tick. So timing is of the essence to get in towards the zone.
Ooh,
so
nice.
they don't necessarily have to rush for the storm surge. QK does anyway. Not only gets the elimination, but puts them above the damage threshold. And it's usually when you're on that line, monster teams get desperate and start to make mistakes. So glad to see them already answer the call.
Cold.
Yeah, their timing couldn't have been better. Like, the zone pulls to their side. So many teams are exiting from the Wadki land, storm into the edge, kind of congested positioning there. And I want to update from Clix and Higgs as well. Like, this is their drop, right? This is the dream scenario. You're in the lead point-wise. Then you get the whole zone to land on top of your POI. When you normally play natural high ground, this is a crazy development happening in general right now for Game 3. Bolts and Acorn have invested a lot to get to the safety here. And look at this. Not a lot of heals to work with, so the pizza box comes out. This is obviously, I'd say, the best heal, right? Like, in the game right now, for sure. As far as quick heals are concerned.
Kicks and yeets.
Look at the background. Creon went down.
Ooh.
Almost held my breath. Thought it was somebody else for a moment. Paper is going to be knocked as well. A couple of players left as solos in some big moments here. No bigger moment than this for Rezzy. 348 below the damage threshold. Rezzy literally put the team on his back just to get this spot in finals. 2 games gone already. 341 quickly has to start to make a play. 15 players need to go down. He might have an opportunity to out heal this monster. 2 pizza slices, 3 med kits. He does have a full chug jug as well. I just wouldn't necessarily advise it as a solo.
This is crazy because while we've been watching Rezzy, just to his bottom left, you have Veno and Curve, and I saw Curve pick up 2 eliminations, by the way. So Rezzy's trying to find opportunity, and then you have someone like Curve just lacing up the lobby, and all the chances that might have been his in his general vicinity. So it couldn't be worse for Rezzy right now. For Clix and Higgs, though, this is the update I wanted. 500 above. They have no worries in the world right now in maximum material. What a clean rotate here. They're not quite safe just yet, but plenty of time to work with. No pressure right now for our position leaders for the most part.
This is where we could start to see an interesting end game. You see all the trees, Monster? You see every single one of those trees. Well, the thick ones, they have a huge amount of HP, and you can connect to them as well in this end game. And more of them as we go towards the south are going to be in play. So we're going to have teams that not only can contest the high ground, can hold on to it for longer than usual. Cold and Rapid try to make their way in, moving forward, almost running to Peterbot and Poyo as they're almost 1,000 damage above the threshold. Monster, this is one thing that you wanted to pay close attention to, and right now, from one game to the next, this is night and day here for Peterbot and Poyo.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing aggressive right now. It's almost as if they say, or are feeling like they need to earn a bunch of points if they want to stay competitive for first place. And they're playing like someone owes them something right now, big time. Meanwhile, Curve, though, as exceptional as he has been, he has lost Veno on the rotate here, so he's not left by himself. Meanwhile, you look to high ground, and look who it is. My, it's not a bird. It's Clix, it's Higgs up top right now, getting positioned.
Just like in a couple of the other games, I stopped asking myself when I see certain players going up the high ground, is it too early? I think Clix and Higgs have proved it's never too early for them to try to take that high ground, especially in a zone like this where you have all those trees that you can actually attach to maintain your position on height. But for now, Clix and Higgs just continue to look down below, realize the zone is going to force players not only out of their boxes, but to shockwave from point A to point B, and that's going to be the best chances they get to beam people out of the sky. You see a good amount of damage landing on Cold before he gets to the front side of the zone.
And you saw the hesitation there, just trying to see if Rapid was with them. Fortunately, ends up on a different layer there for a second, but reunited now. Looking to kind of reposition, refresh up. Up top, Clix and Higgs have this juggernaut of a positioning over the rest of the lobby, connected to that big trunk of the tree there, and they're just so high up that no one's going to be able to contest them, I don't think. So they might just be able to waltz their way into the end game. Muzz, Sphinx here fighting for what they can do right now. And they're starting to run out of material though, Jacob. This is getting really desperate for Muzz and Sphinx.
Yeah, but you can see Muzz just sliding
Clix and Higgs
through a
have
couple of those boxes before he gets in zone. Clix and Higgs continue to elevate themselves higher and higher because they know the shockwave with the fizz, anybody can contest that high ground in a moment's notice. We've already seen it throughout 2 games so far as Peterbot peaks at the perfect time, finds another knock. Elimination going to be cleaned up elsewhere. Even Sphinx going down. Acorn cleans up another elimination. You see threats going down in the corner. It just goes to show that these players that are on that mid layer are just bumping heads back and forth just to get inches in a game that seems a mile long.
Finally, Cold and Rapid get their first eliminations here in the end game. Bit uncharacteristic of them to not have a several set of elims right now, given how they like to play aggressively in these end games. But don't count them out just yet. Peterbot, Boyo continue to turn up here as well. Living off the refreshes right now. They have Osid in sight. They take them down so quickly. You can run, but you can't hide. Boya and Peterbot for the first time playing side by side in the end game, and what feels like the entirety of today. Visuals, Braids on the other side, coming off that victory royale now.
Clix,
still trying to maintain momentum here, but when you look to the high ground, not a soul has decided to contest Clix and Higgs just yet.
Yeah, I don't think there's very many opportunities. The way they have it set up as well, that one's clean. Pollo almost gets blocked off away from Peterbot, but he's not letting go. He's not giving up on his teammates, saying there's a huge strength in numbers. We have to make it count. Cold gets another elimination as well. You said it. There are 4 eliminations here, and they're looking for a couple more. Top 14 situation. There are 5 solo players running around this lobby. Make it 6 as another one gets separated. And you notice still not a single person has even looked up or even built a single box higher, and that's because of Clix and Higgs, a constant pressure from above.
I'm just looking at Cold right now. He went from no elims to now 6 and a knocked body down below. He needs that siphon to turn online like now if he wants to stay alive here. There goes the mini shields to keep him in the game. Meanwhile, Peterbot in the bottom right is by himself, trying to clutch this one up right now. It's been the Boyo solo show all week long, and now it's up to Peterbot to show us what he's got.
Yep, 1 shockwave left, 5 build. Definitely is trying to pick the perfect moment to strike. Using the fizz for the utility, not necessarily the shield. Cold is finally gone down. Rapid stuck outside of the zone. Acorn trying to cut off the path of Braids, but Braids takes him down. These trades going back and forth. 8 teams remain, but that's making 7 teams remain, Monster. 9 players in this game. Almost everybody left alive is solos. Rapid probably feeling the pressure. Gets a huge elimination. Peterbot as well, but he's out of build. Huge flank onto one. Almost gets chance down before he gets demolished himself.
A sliver of HP, and Peterbot would have had it and earned a little bit more, but Clix and Higgs are here on the high ground. They're looking to get another victory royale here and now. They want it more than everyone else. Rapid's a solo. He gets finished up. Higgs is the one who does the job in the end there. In game 3, Jacob, let's Clix and Higgs off to the races.
Already, Monster, we have our first back-to-back victory royales from Clix and Higgs. They got their wonky land uncontested, and they're putting it to use, Zeke.
This is not a drill. Clix and Higgs won back-to-back games in Major 1 finals. We're doing it! Kelly, it's happening!
I feel like someone ordered some pizza, and Clix and Higgs are just the delivery drivers right now because they're holding on to those slices throughout the entire end game. I mean, I appreciate the pizza party. Who doesn't love that? But Clix and Higgs right now on high ground are having a party for 2. They are just absolutely dominating. And Vivid, you called it out. You said the word conditioning, and they conditioned the lobby, and it's only game number 3.
Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. Like you mentioned, it seemed like it was so chaotic over the course of game number 1, game number 2. Everybody wanted a little piece of the high ground. They were flying up. It seemed impossible to control. In game 3, it was a breeze. Nobody looked up. I don't even know what was going on in that lobby. We were so busy watching the eliminations that were kind of happening on the lower ground. People were going crazy down there, and Clix and Higgs, you know, again, one of those situations where what did they end the game with right there? Like 3 eliminations. I know I saw they had 2 in like 11 zone. No real refreshes are coming in, and they are somehow tarping the entirety of these end games from 8th zone throughout. Nobody's looking up, Kelly.
I will say, though, they're not tarping, and they keep doing that, where they're actually split, and they're kind of creating these 2 towers where Clix will launch forward at the front of zone, and they don't tarp over, which kind of saves their materials. It's now allowing Clix to kind of get these refreshes, or at least get some shots onto low ground. It's amazing, Zeke. And again, this is just halfway through day 1.
Can we get the back 3 back? That's all I want. That's all I want, back 3 back. Fortnite fan, we hope you are enjoying all of the action. That was game number 3. We still have 3 to go. First, a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this lobby list. You're about to be in shock. We'll see you in just a moment.
Did you know that Jig removes more types of stains than you think?
They got a bit carried away, didn't they?
Okay. 3 games, 2 wins for Clix and Higgs. That is a very good start for them. This is close so far, man. This is close. Cold might win it. They need more kills, man. Like, they need... What does the player stats look like now? Agers, Rapid, Cold. Like, yeah, these guys are showing up, man. They are showing up. Bino, Clix. I mean, Clix has 7 out of their 9 kills right now. Clix has 7 out of their 9 kills. Are there 2 days or not? Yes, there is 2 days. This is FNCS Grand Finals, man. 2-day tournament. Peters came back also. He was down a lot to Poyo, but he came back. Curve, Kingling, Poyo. Clix has most damage, Cold and Hobby. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Was it
3 games left to go today. 9 games left overall. Bro, look at the damage ratio.
Okay, was it Intix?
I think it's shit, then we'll just take it. Because, like, on EU, there was no one consistently holding high chat. Yanis kind of.
They also...
But, like, it was getting challenged way more. Sky and Scroll are dominating EU this morning, all off low ground. Like, literally ulti low.
I mean, they get no kills because they're looking like they're fully hyper right now.
Yeah.
From Shockwaves. They invest in not getting kills to win the game.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know how to feel about it.
Bro, not to set every fuck. Oh
It's
my
really
god.
gonna be every time.
Like this.
I mean, to be fair though, chat, like, no one, like, that game then.
Okay. 3 games, 2 wins for Clix and Higgs. All right. Do you think Clix wins another game today? I mean, if they can win half of the matches today, like...
Devs, bro, devs. There's no doubt.
Okay.
Ooh, it's gonna be interesting.
We are back. Really quickly, I said lobby list. What I meant was standings. In case you're just tuning in, you've missed the fact that Clix and Higgs got 2 back-to-back victory royales in a major finals lobby. Now, I told you that you would be shocked. Now, remember, after game 2, we're like, Clix and Higgs should be in first place, right? Well, you know what's crazy? They are kind of in first place right now. As we bring up the standings, but interestingly enough, Kelly, we are actually tied currently because Cold and Rapid decided, you know what we're going to do in this last game?
Guess
We're
get
going to get
eliminated.
second place with 11 eliminations, and here we are. Scores
But
are
I think
tied.
this is my prediction. Here's my prediction.
Vivid, you're asking how.
I think
but
Clix and
between
Nix are
9
gonna
and
go
20
for eliminations at
that
some
right
point.
there is a
But for now, they
44
just trying to secure
difference. And if we
points.
look at their average
Because
placement, yes, Clix and Higgs do have a 2.33 average placement, but Cold and Rapid are right behind them with a 5.67 average placement. So we talked about it. We're going to talk about it again, that it doesn't just need one facet of your game to do well. You can't just grab a bunch of eliminations, or you can't just grab a bunch of wins. You have to be able to do both, and that is what Cold and Rapid are doing. They're making sure that they are making it to the end game every single time. For some reason, someone's giving them the mythic reloader, and this is what is allowing them to just have so much damage and so much control on the low ground that the teams that are on high ground, like Clix, is not even able to get any eliminations.
how do you get that?
Oh my gosh, Rapid fending off, winning. 1v2 there on low ground. I didn't even catch that. But as you can see there, when we actually tune into Rapid, when that solo clutch started,
the other guy just
they were on
disappeared.
180 points
Then it gets
when Cold went down. So Rapid himself, just being a solo in the end game, picking up 1v2s like that, picked up 30 points to put them on 210.
Venom
So
then
an
fell off,
incredible
bro.
performance right there from Rapid.
It's because
to kinda
Venom
keep them
dies
at
too
the top
quickly.
of the
That's
leaderboard.
why. If he didn't
And that
die,
was the game that we were calling out for, right? Like right before this game, we were saying, we're kind of waiting for that big
Come on, Clix, one
Cold
more.
and Rapid game, and they just had it. Right?
One
It's
more.
enough to go ahead and tie up first. We have a competition on our hands that is so crazy. Man, even Agers and Ritual right now holding on, and I think what's crazy too, if you look in 5th place, Peterbot and Poyo. Right, we've kind of continued to see Pete and Poyo get in the situation where one of them is left solo. But even in these tough situations, they're only 60 points behind. Like, this isn't like, hey, first place is like 100 points behind.
bro.
or, like,
But you need to
over
get
100. Like,
eliminations, bro.
we saw what one good game can do
If
for
you
Cold and Rapid,
don't,
right? Peterbot and Poyo, they just need that
you
one
gotta
game.
play Zai
And
to
then
make up
suddenly,
for those
like, that gap
eliminations.
closes, right?
Yeah, Peterbot and Poyo right now are
I think they should stop focusing on eliminations and start focusing on getting like placements. Because you
and that's
can
kind of putting them
you can
into
kind of
these a
lose
little
the
bit of rough
game if you
positions
don't
because they're being so aggressive, because
like
they're looking
stay
around
in
all
the
these different
game. You
angles
can
on
always
the
get
mid-ground.
kills.
They're getting kind of like chopped out. They're getting pulled out so that they're ending up being a solo over and over again. And although it is Peterbot, and if anyone can run a solo game, it's going to be him. Eventually,
Ooh.
you are going to need to
They
be a
just needed
full
one
duo
bump.
going into the end game right now. And I think that is just the slight issue that we're having with Peterbot and Poyo.
I feel like some
I say
point
that, and if you
they're
look
gonna drop.
historically, Peterbot and Poyo
They're gonna
are a
drop
day 2
on
team. They're
Clix
already
and
climbing
Higgs.
up the leaderboard, Vivid. So although they might not be having the first 3 games that they want, it is definitely not the end for this duo.
Yeah, I think the larger theme here of the fact that still towards the top of our leaderboard, even like the top 10, it still feels like an incredibly close competition, even though we just had, over the course of 3 games, a team win 2 of those games. So crazy stuff kind of happening over here on NA. Every single team, every one of our top teams is picking up points some way, somehow, and they're keeping themselves in the fight.
Oh my gosh, dude. Viv, talk to me about the damage numbers right now. You looked
Dude,
up a
this is
stat.
cool.
I love you're the stat guy. Hit me with these stats right now. Oh man.
Over the course of the first 3 games, this is how our damage ratios are kind of breaking down. Clix
Clix.
and Higgs individually both find themselves in first and second place, which I just think is crazy because going into game number 3,
But they don't
here,
die.
it kind
They've
of panned out
won
like this
2
as well,
games,
like
so
Clix was
the
up there, like
damage
5+.
ratio
So I
would
was
be
like, oh my
high.
gosh, I want to take a look at the
They
damage
didn't
ratio
die.
after game 3. Got
They haven't
better.
died.
His damage ratio increased somehow after game number 3. And if you remember how game number 1 and game number 2 kind of panned out, how many people were going up for higher ground, how many people were fighting them for it, and they still had like these incredibly positive damage ratios. And again, game number 3, that one, yeah, it's kind of justifiable because, you know, we talked about how nobody looked up towards high ground, so it makes sense that they didn't really take that much damage, but those guys are playing super, super good.
That's just wild to me because we would talk so highly of Cold back when he would get like a 3.0 damage ratio.
Yeah.
That was almost unheard of. And yes, we are only halfway through. I'm sure those numbers are going to be adjusted as the tournament goes on, but absolutely incredible showing from Clix.
Yeah, and I think if we could just get nitpicky for like a second, right? And this is kind of like we're kind of like talking about this a little bit before break, but yes, we love that they're getting the victory royales, right? But we're not hitting those like
High
elim
elims,
thresholds that we need to be seeing, right? That's why Cold and Rapid suddenly shoot up the standings, right? Because remember, we had that extra point, Kelly, and it doesn't sound like a lot. 1 more point, okay, big deal. But these elims, they will very quickly stack up, especially if you hit double digits.
I mean, when you consider 1 point is, I said 25% before last time I was wrong. 33% increase is a huge stat increase for any number. And of course, when it's eliminations, when there are teams that focus on eliminations, having you just eventually just go up to them and be like, hey, that tournament that you just did, let's give you 33% more points for your eliminations. And if you look at some of these Div Cup finals, if you have it in the format for grand finals where it's 4 points per elimination, it would be very different teams in the top of our leaderboard.
Yeah. Zeke's greedy, man. He wants more. He's like, I got 2 wins. I want elims. Like 2.
Why are you putting my, you know what? Casters help. Just take it away.
Yeah, I want to give credit to Clix and Higgs. I think what we're watching is the best team as far as positioning and decision making going
Come on,
against
one
the
more.
best team at eliminating and running
I
things
think
on the low
if
and
they
mid
get
ground
one
right
more
now.
win,
And again, it's
they're
only
gonna
3
go for
games in, right, Jacobs?
eliminations.
But the
Because then they can
identity is starting to take shape for these duos.
Yeah,
They're
it
gonna-
just almost seems, especially for like Clix and Higgs, is they are going to win this major one or lose this major one for something they did or didn't do in their own right. They have full control over their own destiny here. A little bit of a passive game plan here. That's how they've been able to get 2 victory royales, Monster, and they're tied for first place. I don't want to cause any curses, but could this be the major? We're already done with half of day number 1. We're
game.
jumping into game 4 to start the second half.
This game 4 is
My
going to be an
butt
important
is
one.
sore,
It's
bruh.
going to be the solidifying factor of how did you do generally here on the day. All you need is a good 4 games to be very much in a race to contest a championship weekend. And we are already 3 down. Well, one thing's for certain though, Jacob, no one's playing super perfect just yet, right? Every duo so far has a little bit more to be desired in one area or another.
I was gonna say Sniper Dude and Avenger reaching on over to this side of the map to try to take on Jack and Enpen. Avenger and Sniper, dude, they were landing on the eastern side of the map, almost triple contesting their drop. I thought they were maybe going to make their way on over
Are people
towards
gonna make it
Wonky Land,
interesting
because
and
that is
then
where
by
they have
Clix
been
in them?
playing
I'm just
time
thinking.
in and time out, whether
It
it's
might
the
not be.
Divisional Cup or the
Maybe
actual
tomorrow.
finals lobbies.
Maybe
Trying to
tomorrow.
switch things up more so in their favor.
I think people are
Peterbot
gonna play
Resi,
more
split drop here. You can
aggressive
see
now.
the two
Ooh,
differences. Top of the mountain,
ooh.
inside of the house, and Takes already getting a good amount of damage onto
Paper
Paper as he
doesn't
tries to
have
make his way
seal.
down.
Yeah, great amount of damage right there being secured. Resi
I wouldn't
back
take
up and
that
get to
impulse
the usual
grenades.
plan here for the loots. The opponents back off as well.
Ooh, Clix and X.
Anyway, Clix, Pigs on the other side. Still, so far, no team has decided to give them any friction just yet.
I think
Everyone's
maybe
somewhat
tomorrow.
Sticking to their strategy, sticking to the game plan, if you will. It's a quick highlight, though. We're at the Sanctuary. Nice little elim here for Sinwatch.
Got Chimp over here on this side of the map. This side of the map is just so stacked. Even if you're uncontested, it's never easy to make your way on out. Chimp sees a battle in the distance, easily third parties it for a good amount of damage, forcing Ruins to go down low. Catman getting knocked all together. The team actually officially eliminated thanks to more than one team looking on over in this direction. It's not slowing down either.
Everyone
Zyke
just
the
going
Void
for
making their way
eliminations.
on over, hearing some of the noise, and they're just trying to figure out what is it all about.
I was gonna say, remember, Zytha and Void were just putting some shots onto Paper in Resi there, so interesting to see how many teams are willing to quickly rotate towards the Sanctuary to get in on the action here. In the end, though, everything seems to settle down now, Jacob.
Oh snap!
What's
Clix and
this?
Denmark. I told you they were gonna
They
go.
must have been listening to the stream.
They
Zeke was
are
like, I
going
want
for
elims.
eliminations
Kelly's
now.
saying 4 points per.
They
We
already
could probably
secured
see a
enough
different
victories.
leaderboard if that's how it's gonna
You
be.
see,
Clix and Higgs
you
say,
see,
you know what?
you can't.
Have
If
been
you don't win
decided by
games,
less than one
you're not gonna get
elimination.
points.
The majors have
So you have to
proven
go for
the last
eliminations,
three
but you
all
could
last year,
always
Monster,
switch
were all
up when
decided
you
by either
get
4
high
or
placements.
less
You could always
eliminations,
go
proving that it
for
could be the
eliminations.
difference
Yes.
maker here, even with 2 wins, tied in first place with Cold and Rapid, who
Oh, no,
guess
but-
what, Monster, have been picking up eliminations. So Clix and Higgs trying to take a page out of their own playbook here, trying to go aggressive for the north side of the map.
They could
instead of
still
just
have the
sitting
same
at
game
Wonky
plan,
Land
go
and
for
letting
height,
teams
but
and
get that
damage pass
extra
you by.
eliminations in the
I
beginning.
like it. It seems like this game, they had a bit of a different strategy. Obviously, early game fight super important, but more importantly is they recognize, hey, the zone's right on top of us. So they kind of pull this card out of the books there. You love to see it. Back on over to Venno and Curve, also staying relatively dynamic. No lurk plays for this one. This is another just full-on clash happening here in front of us. Great tag so far. Curve thinking about going in for the shockwave there for a second. Oh, those are some big tags. Wouldn't be surprised if now's the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, now it's Shockwave. Shockwave, just thinking in my head, Curve does exactly that. Shockwave's over. Close the distance, reunites with Venno, trying to take 2 different approaches. Electro just trying to hold him off, but the persistence is there, not only from one, but both of these players. But Venno goes down. He enters into the box, 2v1. Electro and Ult get that elimination. Curve with no shield. Honestly, 55 HP, almost 1 shot away from going down. You know they're going to be on the chase.
They're coming in quick. Tyler and Chance are moving in fast as well here. Curve, though, doesn't get caught out by the visual audio cue there while he was eating pizzas. Lucky for him. And look, he actually had to ditch what was left of the box just to stay low here. Take a look, though. We haven't seen Venno lose a fight like this here. Not today. He's been winning these for the most part, but Electro just connects with some big tags there.
Right before we went to the replay, Monster, I saw them stealing his pizza. Curve, man, how can you let them do that? But hey, sometimes you just gotta let them run away with it, or at least think they can, so that way you can hopefully get Venno back into the game. Consistency is definitely going to be key throughout the weekend. Yes, we do have our top 2, but you see a little bit of a gap start to open up from 3rd and down, and honestly, that's going to continue to be the case here for top 13 overall is what's going to make it to the Summit Land. So you see not just first place FNCS, not just the mountains of prize money, but just to keep your journey to globals alive.
You know, we were all curious on how Rituals and Aegis Storm Surge strategy was going to work out in the early game. So far, we haven't quite seen their definitive route. but we are seeing a little sample of it. Ager's just playing that high ground right now, looking to tag any teams in the general area who are boxing and or rotating around, and they seem to be playing their drop very deep into the storm, and so far it's working for them, right? As they're finding themselves in the top 5. Peterbot, Boya, different strat for them now. Playing the big base here as well. Last game, they were pretty much boots on the ground, keying into boxes and teams anywhere in the vicinity. But for all we know, Peterbot is looking to call a target out.
You know, there was a time a few months ago, before FNCS Divisional Cups even started, and Peterbot was kind of taking a little bit of a break. Players were looking at Clix and Higgs, saying they are the team to beat. Higgs is the best player in the game right now. Everybody was saying it's off season, it doesn't matter, Peterbot's not trying. Guess what? Divisional Cups roll around, the same type of conversation continues to start up, and guess what? Peterbot shows up, he shuts down the talk. But now that FNCS is actually here, we got Clix and Higgs proving that, hey, maybe teams were calling it a little early, but they could be right with the way they've been playing so far. But you have to watch out. Not only those 2 teams I mentioned, but Cold and Rapid as well. Rapid has been on an insane hot streak to start the year. He's even had a 2nd place in years prior with Higgs in a different tournament. So he has right now a good as chance as anybody else to probably win this tournament.
It's crazy when you think reputation. To have a reputation like Codes where it's like, don't worry, he's going to show up and do what he needs to do is actually just incredible. He is doing it so far here today. Again, we're only 3 games in. It would be silly of us to call it, right? There's a lot of Fortnite ahead of us, and I'm sure we're going to see tons of adjustments, especially not only for the last 2 games, but leaning into tomorrow. Who's going to pick up their replays and come up with some new strategies? We will, of course, have to see that. Visual and Braids continuing somewhat of the pace, if you will, right? Game 1 was a victory. Obviously, the last 2, not quite so, but they've still managed to stay very much in the competition so far. They're looking like a shoo-in potentially for the land spot.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of their drop spot here. A little bit of a split drop just outside of Dark Dominion. You see the Fun Factory, the Carmine Lodge. It's kind of the split in between the 2. No matter where the zone actually pulls, they set up on that mountain, because whether it pulls north, south, east, or west, chances are teams are going to have to rotate through them.
That's kind of funny.
Where they can get shots, and we tune into curves. Still,
okay, Clix and Higgs going for the eliminations.
Waiting for him there. Even when you can buy reboot cards,
I must not be too
very
greedy
few choices
and
here.
die.
Avenger and Sniper Dude. I talk about them possibly making their return to Wonky Land. It wasn't at the start of this game, but they're still making their presence known over here.
Higgs, Clix already looking to secure some eliminations right now. Again, nothing has come of it just yet. There's a team there. Obviously, Higgs is eyeing them up. I'm pretty sure they recognize there's that duo behind that wall there. Clix, though, has a lot to be desired when it comes to the overall loadout just so far. That material count looking a bit light. Comes the big super pad setup right now for Acorn and Bolts. They're playing this rotate through the dead side of the storm. They actually want to opt to stay in the storm. You can see the marker coming out there.
Yeah, and because we saw what Clix and Higgs, Sniper Dude, Avenger, even saw Cole and Madden all converging over towards Wonky Land. This is going to make it essentially a free rotation towards the western edge of the map. All the teams that could land those shots are already busy, focused on entirely something else. Just trying to stay alive, trying to get surged, so should see
we're just
Acorn
waiting
Bolts
for
in a
that
good position this
end
game
game to come around.
Better late than never in
To
the second
see
half of the
if
day, trying to play catch up.
people are gonna actually contest
around you throughout the game so far. Listen and Aloe,
Clix
same
and
thing
Higgs
so far.
on the high
16
ground, but I
points, half
think
of
like
those coming in
they should
this
switch it
game
up
alone, contested
and
towards
go
New
for
Sanctuary.
eliminations.
They're able to pick up
I
those
think
2
that's kind of what
eliminations,
everyone
and sometimes
expects.
you just need a big moment like that.
I just feel
to get
like
things going.
they already won a few games, so now they can just go for eliminations and still play SI. That would be like the perfect combination for them to get the maximum amount of points, but
Threats actually putting down some shots onto them.
a normal win would still be fine because they don't wanna like go for eliminations at the end of the day and just throw the
If that distraction's enough for Electro and crew to have to make a move.
Still relatively early, 1 tick, storm damage, plenty of time to decide. See, listen, Aloe rotating on over towards Sus Studios, one of the last teams. Say from this side
We
of the
got
map,
83
you still do
people
got a couple
left.
more over towards New
Usually the
Sanctuary,
more
but they're just
people
kinda
that are
making a pit
left,
stop here, healing
the
up
worse
before they
storm
make the
surge
rotation on
becomes.
out. And you see the zip line, they're not
Because
necessarily
the
going
whole
to carry
point of
that
storm
into the
surge
end of the
is
game. They're just
for
going to use
people
it
to move
for
to
right
the
now.
center.
That way they can
So
make this rotation just a little bit easier as Penta spots an
Okay,
opportunity
storm
in the
surge is
distance. He
starting, so
immediately goes after it.
This is crazy. Curve is actually 300 damage above the surge somehow. Still as a solo, it looks like he might have been putting up a strong defense against Zyfta there for a second. And now contemplating if it's time to go for the reboot, but of course he's going to make a quick pit stop here for the machine. See if he can pick up some
it's gonna be difficult
heals to go and
because
sustain himself here in the storm. I mean, odds. What do you think the odds are looking like right now for Curve here?
no, they're just gonna go for
I believe
placements. They're gonna just go for placements. No, dude, don't reboot, don't reboot.
Teaming with Venno, it's just Neo, it's just lurking around. You see Noisy, you see Listen, you see Aloe, and so yeah, you might think they have to go to zone, but for Curve,
Oh,
he's
he
still
got
being
he
hunted
gets
down.
another
Look,
med
in the
kit.
mini-map, they might have spotted him out here. The
No.
shockwave's going off. First shot's going to connect on the Curve. The second one as well. Less than 5 HP. Time is not on his side to get the med kits off. Neo and Noisy. I'm not sure where they got a glimpse of Curve, but they really made that little moment count.
Yeah, Curve needed to just overbuild right there. Get a
Oh,
couple
no,
splashes out
Venno.
and try to survive. But unfortunately, he couldn't put up the offense needed. And they fall in 10th positioning now. That's going to be a really tough one to deal with now as we're in game 4. So we're getting deep into the tournament day 1 here. Rapid, on the other hand,
I feel like Venno
just
overcommitted. They should
healing up
just
right
play
now,
for placement
still
and not
haven't
eliminations.
secured any new points here. Nothing fresh earned.
Because Venno basically got
Being cold and
destroyed.
rapid in some of the other teams is
Clix and X,
they not only
Clix
get
is in
all the
trouble.
gold, they don't necessarily wait to access the vending machine. They buy their med kits early.
How did
So
Clix
it's
get
much
so low?
safer for
They're
them to
playing in
sit up
Storm.
there and wait the storm out before they start to rotate in. See, Agers, Ritual, decent loadout, having to rotate. Jargu and Carillion, 1 elimination so far, 600 damage above the threshold. Things can definitely change on course of this rotation. You see them rotating right behind Agers and Ritual. They make a quick peek, try to get some damage. Don't really find too much success, but at least they keep themselves moving.
Sphinx dropped here on this moving zone right now. Muzz is getting chased here. They're looking to try to finish this one up. It might not have been their Elam, but they definitely had influence in it. You can see the loot just sitting here as the lobby all kind of focusing in here and now. Boy and Peterbot do have to be careful, though, not to end up like game 2, fully focused by the remaining lobby. And Muzz barely skates out of there. But, you know, I wanted to say one thing about Cold and Rapid. Last game, they had no Elams going into that endgame, and then all of a sudden they just took off, rocketing their way straight up. So that is going to be where they shine the most so far. This game is looking exactly like that. Meanwhile, Agers and Ritual, though, Jacob, here are 50 damage below right now.
Yeah, first thing that popped in my mind as we tune in.
Clix and X must not overcome.
Not where I expected this team to be going into FNCS. Constant struggles here at 4 Sturge, below the threshold for sure. Depending on where the next zone goes, they might have to go up the side of the mountain, but they see solo players trying to work their way in. They do land a couple of shots, but I was going to say not necessarily enough to get above, but they do jump 65 damage above that threshold. Not enough to continue to hold that confidence, but for now, it's them grabbing a breath of fresh air, letting the lobby kind of settle. They have almost a max pull, just like a few other teams, so they're just trying to pinpoint where they're going to start using those shockwaves to make it in.
So a little glimpse of CDZ and Raven still in the game right now. This is their first mid-game that we've seen them develop in. But eyes are on Muzz right now. 40 damage above, no Sphinx in sight. Still have at least earned themselves a single Elam this game, so it's not a 0-point game. It's a big shockwave here, though. He's got to find himself in a position to actually take a fight or something. But no, look at this. Clix and Higgs. Higgs is down. Clix, no heals. Barely anything else to work with. He's got the damage, but he needs a siphon. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. I'm watching Muzz kind of go crazy as we tune in. Higgs is already down. You can see Clix in his struggle here. He's already picked up the elimination. No, he does not make it over in time. Higgs goes down. That kind of leaves a lot of pressure onto Clix. top 34 monster. Placement points have yet to set in, so this is only a 4-point game so far for Clix in that one elimination. You see he's looking for more opportunities. No shield, no HP, not even a shockwave to boost himself forward, so he has to burn through his materials before he's eventually taken down. The back-to-back will not be a back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, and that was crazy for him to get the siphon right there to kind of stay in the game. It was looking like there was hope for a moment, but it's just not going to be enough. So down goes Clix very early in this game before the positioning gets to get rewarded for the rest of the lobby. Cold and Rapid have a chance now to break away. Everyone else inside the top 10 has a chance now to jump up. Peterbot, Boyo need to take advantage of this opportunity. Muzz still holding on. Hey, don't count him out. He's in roughly top 6th or 7th there himself.
This is going to be a big moment right here. Peterbot Boyo just gearing up, ready, and I was just kind of thinking with Clix and Higgs down, it's not only Cold and Rapid in which you were talking about, it's Agers and Ritual as well. It's about a 50-point gap between that first and second place tie, and Agers and Ritual are sitting in 3rd place. And so with only a 4-point game for Clix and Higgs, they're definitely going to try to close that gap, hopefully try to take that top 2 spot after this game. Acorn and Bolts, a couple of speed bumps in their journey so far, but they're looking like here in the second half of the day, they finally figured out how to make things work, rotating underneath the bridge, but you can see not a lot of material or resources left on the Agers.
This is what they do best, though, finding eliminations right now. These big, pivotal moments here where placement points and elims are going to start propelling you up the standings. Cold and Rapid at the front side of zone, nothing to worry about right now. They're going to surely be breaking away here if they keep getting this amount of runway to work with. Cold shockwaves deep into the storm there. It was worth it. He picks up a bunch of extra heals, material, and everything else now. So Rapid and Cold, like we said, just at the start of this, have proven to be the strongest low ground team so far here in the lobby, and they're not switching up the strategy at all right now.
Yeah, they get the front side of the zone and immediately return back, starting to build up, giving them time to work with. Even with Acorn and Bolts trying to go ahead and shockwave over, they have a little bit of elevation advantage. Acorn and Bolts going to be stuck underneath. Quick couple of shots going to fire off in their direction. They're going to hold their position. 336 though, above the damage threshold. No real reason to peek, but they're just trying to build that cushion. 4 players go down. Storm Surge no longer in this game. And for Agers, it's not necessarily Storm Surge he has to worry about. It's the lack of HP. It's the 0 builds. He needs a miracle here.
Yeah, and I still saw Muzz playing solo as well right now. But look at this, talking about solos. Boyo is by himself in this end game right now, so close to making it out of the edge of zone. He is going to make it, could find elimination here potentially, but no, not enough shots inside the magazine there. Still though, does need to splash himself here, goes for the material first and gets shot while going for it. That little bit of shield being the difference maker to keep him in the game right now. He knows there's danger ahead of him, forcing himself to build right now. Use the shockwave to give himself that unlimited stamina here now too. Agers falls on the left, Boya falls shortly behind him in the runway. The opportunity to catch up comes to a close there, and things remain competitive now on the standings. Meanwhile, Bolts and Acorn get off the low ground into the high ground here now.
It's a good chance for Bolts and Acorn to play a little catch up. Coming into this game, Monster, they were at 9th place, 126 points. No Clix and Higgs in this lobby. For the past couple of games, it's been them going for high ground, which opens up an opportunity for anybody else if they're daring enough to take it. Reet and Cooper almost picking up an elimination. You can see the desperation in their materials, almost fresh out, and you see Reet going down, just kind of leaves Cooper by himself, trying to hide in that mist, make sure no one could see him, maybe pop off a big shot while he can. Cold and Rapid, though, this is their chance to extend their lead in first place. They were tied up when this game started. Now they're almost at 250 plus points.
Big pressure coming in from Acorn up above. That's almost the decision maker to send Cold back to the lobby. But the pressure's coming in. They see the mist as well, so that's why the shots are focusing in on them. And Bolts and Acorn are recognizing this is their immediate competition right here. This is the threat in the lobby. Who's daring to hold the second height? That's the team they want to send back. Great tracking so far. As now we get to see Braids and Visuals on the bottom right. So far, so good for them. They are slowly creeping their way back up the standings here. From that Game 1 Victory Royale to a strong Game 4 right here. They're positioned very well. They're just a couple elims away from being inside the top 3 now. Meanwhile, Jacob, look at this. Cooper is by himself here.
Yep, global champion here, forced into another clutch situation. Good damage, unfortunately enough. Not enough to get the elimination. Would have been helpful for the Siphon. Wager Slepsy getting approached. They're forced to scramble outside of the box. They go 2 different directions, though, so they don't necessarily have the strength in numbers anymore. Slepsy gets tagged up. Wagers goes down. Into the wrong box he goes, and what a perfect elimination for Cold. Only thing he was missing there was the HP, and now he picks up the Siphon, looking for more. Slepsy in his path along with Veer. They get good damage. No eliminations just yet, but they're staying persistent, making sure to push them further and further outside of the zone.
That's the problem. If you were hoping Cold and Rapid were going to fall early, well, guess what? They made it deep into the top 10 now. Rapid is going to fall here, but Cold follows up. Clutches get the full elimination there, too, and the Siphon keeps him in the game. Meanwhile, back to Acorn's perspective, just 30 mats now. That's not a winning amount of material just yet, so don't count him just in. But hold up, I'm still seeing visuals alive. I'm seeing a lot of solos here, Jacob. This is not looking too hot for the low ground teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, Visuals' run comes to an end here. Madden goes down. Cole is still left alive, though. It's essentially solos versus duos up above. Veer and Cole down below. They're clashing. Bolts is ready to steal away the eliminations. Remember, 4 points per. Those eliminations could be the difference, but Cole is able to get the elimination onto Veer. That's 4 more points for them, but he's in a tough situation against Acorn, against Bolts, front side of the zone. Medkit just in case, and they're ready to chop it down. No instant retakes for you as Cole's just trying to make a mad dash. His only chance to make it in towards the zone. He gets coned off again, and that opportunity goes out the window. Acorn and Bolts have finally woken up here in the second half of the day to take the VR.
And if you was looking at the standings, you wouldn't have even thought they were in the race at 128 coming into this game. Acorn and Bolts do it in game no.
Check out the K though.
Best Med Medical Scheme recommends that you skip this video if you're not interested in value for money medical aid with a personal touch.
Yeah, that is
Oh my
why are
gosh,
EU people
Acorn
saying
and
restart
Bolts.
grands, by the way? I mean, I guess there's a couple.
Like the cats point out, they are alive.
That's
Guys,
insane.
this is a live situation. Everything is going crazy.
It is going quite
That is
crazy
actually
right now,
insane.
but I do love to
Why are they saying restart? They pretty much announced that all the people that were banned were basically falsely banned. But they're saying that since the teams already filled their spots, that it doesn't even matter. And there's nothing they can do about it, basically.
Stuff. Obviously, we did see, unfortunately, a couple of our top
So
teams
yeah, all the teams that got banned
found on the high ground over here on this region did go down.
got banned
early,
for
so
nothing,
good recognition there for
and they can't
Acorn
play
and
Grants.
Bolts to realize, hey, listen, high ground might be our opportunity to kind of go up there. And
yeah.
as soon as they secured high ground,
Unfortunate for
they
those teams.
Lost it for a glimpse. So great.
But yeah,
work.
Colvin
Acorn
Rapid,
Bolts gotta
first
go
place
ahead
in grand
and
finals
high
right
ground.
now. 266 points for them. Visuals and Braids in second. Clix and Niggs in third. Acorn in fourth. Acorn in fourth. Ritual and Agers in fifth. Peter in sixth. Threats in seventh. Hobby in eighth. Reed in ninth. And then Slepsy in 10th.
Super fast. There was even like a minute left.
Muzz is in
to this
11th.
game before the storm
The Beeb.
fully closed in, and the final
Tyler.
elimination comes in. Like this was
I mean, Tyler and Chance are a duo that
early
shouldn't
win
even be
here for
playing
Acorn
right
and
now.
Bolts.
And they're in.
themselves there with
Colin Madden, Curtin
211
Guido in
points
17th.
after that game. That
Bucky.
one is going to put them in
Holy
the
man.
race.
That is
Guys.
insane.
I got a sneak peek. I got a sneak peek. At
That is
I got a sneak peek.
insane.
Are you guys ready to find out where they are? We'll have to wait till after this break. When we return, we'll take a look at the standings. They're in the top 5, but you're going to be surprised yet again. See you soon.
All right. Well, do we got some drama, chat? Do we got some drama? Wait, Booga crashed out. I've heard that.
Saying it's cheating and shit too, and they just clarify it's not. Like, dude, how is that real, bro? This is for like the next fucking like 3-4 months. Like, how is that real? Man?
Yeah, this is literally for people's land quals too.
Yeah, dude, you literally can't do that. That's actually like, dude, that's the most unreal shit I've ever fucking seen in this game.
Do you want Dorf in the call now?
Nah, if you get Dorf in the call, I might let. No.
Bro, that's actually insane.
How are you even laughing though?
Jack,
like, these kids are literally saying that it's
restart. Hashtag restart. Restart grants.
How are like on God they should, bro? That's
restart.
fucking
Oh God, they
retarded,
should
dude.
restart.
This is,
Bro, Chad, do you guys
actually
think they should
bullshit.
restart Grands? Yes or
Actually
no?
Bullshit. That's insane. Like, this game's a fucking joke. That's unreal, bro.
Yeah, that is insane.
I don't need.
Bro. Like, how are you? No. They have so much time to figure out. Dude, no.
Bro, but that's the thing too. Is it's like, I swear Fortnite has never been this strict on banning people for things like this, you know? And so I don't understand why right before grand finals is when they decide to be this strict about it. Like, that is pretty insane. Now if Clix wins, everyone will say it's Mickey. Yeah, now I think if Clix wins, people will be saying Mickey.
4. Now, as we called out, we knew
Hashtag
going into
don't
the game.
keep.
Right at first, right? So they end that game with 211 points. They are in the top 5, but it's just a little more complicated than that, because you see they're currently in 4th place, because if we look up the standings, Clix and Higgs, even though they had a rough game there, they still managed a handful of points. Visual and Braids in that game as well managed to find themselves points with a 5th place and 4 elims, and look all the way at the top. Cold and Rapid. Oh my gosh, guys. This is as unpredictable as it gets. To see Visual and Braids, we'll start with them, to come out with a game like this, a 5th place, 4 elims. We're starting to hit that consistency factor right now, Kelly. It's looking really good for them.
Yeah, this is definitely what Visuals and Braids is known for. We saw them do this all throughout last year with Aminished. They are doing such a good job with consistency, and especially being able to be consistent on the low ground when you have huge names like Cold and Rapid running through it. They're playing this so smart and so safely, kind of sticking to the back end of front zone, or the back end of low ground, instead of staying to the front, which is where all the chaos is. But we gotta talk about it. Cold and